I guess we're online probably everywhere else too. Hello, everybody. Richard Hart here. You may know me from youtube.com/Richard Hart or twitter.com/Richard Hart Win. We're on a new YouTube channel here because they like handing out strikes for no reason. And if you get enough strikes, they delete your account. So we're on a new account. And then hopefully they'll get their stuff sorted where they're just not having AIs delete every cryptocurrency channel and all of their videos. They've deleted numerous hours of my videos. And when they delete them, you can't even save them anymore. They're just gone. So if you don't have your own backup, you're 100% screwed. And you can't appeal a video that they delete during the live stream because it just literally is gone. And you can only appeal videos that had a chance to exist and finalize. So ours, we've got a strike that can't even be appealed. It's disgusting. And they don't respond to the appeals anyway. We appealed about 45 days ago or 50 days ago to the first warning that we got for no reason. I mean, we're talking about what software? This is not the most exciting or violent thing. So here we have David Bond. I went on his YouTube channel and he's got like 500K subs. I'm like, damn, I got to put girls in bikinis on my channel. I tried it. I lost subs. So tell us about yourself a little bit, man.
My name's David. I travel. I make videos for YouTube. A lot of travel vlogs. Occasionally I'll give my opinion on life, relationships, philosophy. And I'm brand new to the crypto stuff. The first time I even really cared or knew about it was basically 5 months ago. And the reason I even got interested in it was I got banned from PayPal. And that was a big deal for me at the time because it was actually when I was making the most money I had ever made in my life. And during my emotional distress over the situation and being totally, realizing that I was completely powerless to this situation, PayPal PayPal is just a robot. You can't really appeal anything. A friend of mine made a joke that I should have accepted Bitcoin, and I didn't know what he meant. Well, later I kind of discovered what it was, and the original reason I even took interest was there's a website that I'm a part of called Gab, which is like a Twitter clone, and they only accept Bitcoin because they get banned from everything. So I bought Bitcoin just to get Gab, and then I thought that was kind of cool. Like, why can't they get banned from Bitcoin thing? So I searched like, is Bitcoin like some crazy? I thought Bitcoin was just PayPal, but the name Bitcoin, and I found out what it was. And when I started, going down that rabbit hole, I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And so
you said you got in 6 months ago?
That's correct.
So that would have been, wasn't the price like $3K back then?
No. I was. This is around when it was 13,000. Because I remember.
You got fucked.
Well, no, I didn't because I only bought enough to get the Gab. Right. Gab offers the service that's like a pro. So I only got enough to buy the Gab, and I just sent it, and I didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
let me pause you for a second. I just want to tell everybody, look, YouTube genuinely truly sucks and should be regulated as a utility, and they will likely delete and ban this video and delete and ban any channels that talk about the stuff we like to talk about, which is disgusting, and it's the world that we live in, and there's nothing that we can do about it. So, we could lobby your local regulator to actually have the monopoly laws enforced and regulate these utilities as utilities, because our YouTube stream is more important than the telephone line ever was, and the telephone line was a utility. So this is more important with less competition. Obviously, utility should be regulated as such, and we should have rights, data portability. I should be able to take there should be competition, there should be value adding, there should be like a base layer that the value add guys pay, and like everything could be better if we fight for it. But I got better shit to do than fight for it because, there's a lot of other cooler stuff going on. So we're streaming live on Twitch, we're streaming live on Facebook, we're streaming live on Periscope, we're streaming live on DLive, and we're streaming live on YouTube. So now we had to take a quality hit. We had to go down to 1080p instead of 4K in order to do that. But it's worth it because these fuckers are deleting videos. They're deleting videos, which means they're deleting your speech. Like when you talk and it gets replayed in the restream, they're deleting your speech. They're deleting our conversation. They're stopping us from communicating with each other. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and also if I could get the Twitch link, I'd happily share it in my Telegram. Maybe get some.
Sure. It's just twitch.tv/Richard Hart Win.
Okay.
And it's periscope.tv/Richard Hart Win 1, unfortunately. Facebook.com/Richard Hart. But I don't think you guys can actually access that page. And I don't use Facebook very much. So the recording of the stream will be available there. And that's actually the most reliable place to get it is off of Facebook, believe it or not. And it'll be on the Hex, the facebook.com/Hex Crypto. There, you'll be able to find a link to this video when it's done. And I know people are watching live on Facebook, but I have no idea like how they find the video, like because I don't have any Facebook friends. I don't friend anybody. And where else? And this is youtube.com/Scivive, SCIVIVE.
Yeah. So I shared the Twitch stream to my people.
I'll just drop these links in the chat, right? So.
Yeah, that would be super helpful.
This is in the YouTube chat. Do you have access to it? Or I can put it in our Telegram chat. I can drop it in our Telegram chat in a second.
But yeah, so once I started learning about Bitcoin as an experiment, I thought, why don't I try to sell some of my programs that I sell on YouTube for Bitcoin, and just as a really ghetto experiment, I just made a page called on all of my digital programs. By the way, I have digital products. One of them is like the Single Man's Guide to Thailand. I have My Travel Toolkit. I have the Digital Pickup. I have a bunch of random courses that I sell. And
Are you a pickup artist, sir?
I mean, I talk to girls. I don't really teach it though. I don't really consider myself a pickup artist,
Right.
But a lot of people say I am, whatever, But
bro, people don't understand like the pickup community. So it's so hard to talk about because it's like it's a performing art, and there are a lot of shitty artists that do bad stuff for bad intent, and they suck at what they do, and they get terrible outcomes for everyone involved. And because those people exist, right? It's like if you go and watch a bad comedian, it's fucking bad. You don't want to do it. You don't want to watch a bad comedian. It feels terrible. Well, the same thing exists in other performing arts, right? A bad juggler sucks to watch. A bad pickup artist sucks to watch. But someone that's entertaining and creating beauty and happiness in other people's lives, like a good comedian or a singer, songwriter, performing artist of any form, to watch someone that's really good at what they do, it's amazing. If you go on a cruise ship, they hire people that are like activities directors that are happy and upbeat and vibrant and try and make everyone have fun. And I think pickup artists is, if done well, kind of that kind of thing, right? There's just so many people that do it terribly that it's like to be associated with it.
I would agree with you that as a whole, the pickup world is not super great. But my interest in it was back in 2011. I ended a relationship with a girl I was living with. We were together for like 6 years. And at the time, I had only been intimate with basically 2 girls between the ages of like 19 to like 27. And I was a lot fatter, and I hadn't left the country. I had barely left the state. I hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the movie, The Walter Mitty, The Life of Walter Mitty.
Never seen it.
Like that's really close to me.
All right.
And I started watching these videos on YouTube of these guys who would talk to girls, and like they like had their like little tricks, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So when I became single, I tried some of it, and it was really horrible. It was really cringe, and I bombed. But I thought it was kind of cool, so I tried again, and I got lucky to meet my first girl doing this that I've actually met in real life. Before that, every other girl was just a girl on the internet.
Yeah.
And when I had a little taste of success, I got addicted, and it downward spiraled into me quitting my job and traveling for 16 months doing nothing but picking up girls all over the world. I ran out of money, and I had a GoPro. I was filming it, but I wasn't showing anybody.
Yeah.
Well, one of my videos got leaked and got put on World Star Hip Hop. And
was it a bomb or was it a success?
It was a video called "Guy Steals Girl from Chinese Guy," and
that's racist.
Yeah, so kinda. Well, no, it was. Kidding. I filmed my buddy. He was flirting with the girl.
Yeah.
And kissing her while she was holding hands with another guy.
Yeah.
And it was like this really weird video, and
that's how you get your ass beat. That's all fun and games until you can't do that shit in America. You might be able to do that in more friendly countries.
The guy wasn't his. They weren't together. It was everyone was drunk. It was just a drunk guy. But long story short is that kind of opened the can of worms of like video, and eventually it snowballed into this. Yeah. So it's a complete accident.
Dude, I used to go every single night.
I used to hate your guts. I thought you were everyone has hate watch. Like you watch someone just, this guy's an idiot. And I was just like, I'd always leave comments like little hater comments. And
I'm surprised you didn't get blocked, dude, because I've blocked thousands of people. Thousands. Really? Oh, yeah. Somebody tweeted, I tweeted like, yo, we're doing a stream on another channel. Some guy posts a comment. He says, I thought you were mad at YouTube, like smiley face thinking to itself or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, block. Fuck off. Like, no, I don't like supplicating to YouTube, but you don't have a choice. Do you want viewers? Do you like viewers? Okay, sure, well, you have to use YouTube. I could set up my own server and broadcast on my own fucking server easily, but ain't no viewers. And ain't no chance of new viewers. So like, if you want your shit to grow and get new people involved, you've got to broadcast to not your existing audience, right? You've got to have the lottery ticket that you actually show up in the live stream list of someone that's not already following you, or you just die. You'll just atrophy over time. But people, it's so funny on the internet. People make a sport of just talking shit. It's like,
well, this is a debate in the alt tech community. Like alt tech meaning like the platforms that are like don't have censorship.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Didn't know alt tech was a fucking. I never heard that word.
Alt tech refers to alternative tech. So it's like an example of alt tech is like using DuckDuckGo over Google out of principle, right? Or like refusing to be on Facebook due to the censorship, or like purposely using.
I hate Facebook, but I'm on that shit now because they don't delete my videos. So like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
But the debate is like, do you get more reach, or do you support the platforms that won't delete your stuff?
Both. You do both.
Yeah, and
they're
I
not
agree
mutually
with that.
exclusive. I mean, that's what we're doing.
You can
now.
use the reach to pull people. Yep. But so anyway, just to wrap up the story about the Bitcoin stuff, I threw a QR code on my website, and people started like using it. They'd buy my stuff. I was like, what the fuck? And I remember waking up like, money.
Yep.
And I found Purse.io, which was the site you can buy Amazon packages with Bitcoin, and I tested it, and it worked. And after that, I was like, yo, this is really cool. And I was living in Bangkok at the time, and then I found out there was a place on my street that accepted Bitcoin Cash only. And I saw the sticker, and I was like, yo, and I went in. I didn't have any Bitcoin Cash, but I knew the little tool, the site shift thing, so I moved like $20 in, and I bought food with it. And I was like, dude, this is so freaking cool. And
it's okay. So, I mean, it's okay. It's not that cool. Like,
I think it
paying for things in person is something that we figured out already.
No, what's cool is that someone who got banned from PayPal, now I'm accepting money in a way that no one can stop it. That's the cool part, not the buying the food. The fact that I can make a website called like raping babies with swastikas.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Hey, look, we're getting fucking. Hey, guys, we're complaining about getting banned off YouTube.
Sorry.
Homie's coming out with the hot, spicy fucking food for the AI to digest. Instantly streamed, deleted. Oh, sorry. Jesus.
I forgot.
It's okay.
Well, to be fair, I don't know. I didn't say the N word.
Oh my God.
I didn't say it. Okay. I didn't say it. You said it.
Burner account. Fuck it. Hey. This actually isn't a burner account. I like the brand Sci-Vive. It's the next thing I'm doing after Hex. So please don't get this channel deleted.
But the part that was cool to me was censorship resistance, which at the time
it's nice. I mean, it's almost as nice as actually just sitting with your thumb up your ass and getting really rich, which is nicer. Like all these stories about how good crypto is, I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. I care about the price going up. You know what's really cool? You sit there and then the thing goes up 10x in value, or 11x in the case of Hex in 90 days. And then you just are like, hey, I have 11x more money. Wow, that's nice, right? Like,
Okay, so
you can use
so
your
now
credit card to buy shit then with your 11x more money in 90 days.
yeah, but what makes that happen is
It's
people
not
caring
the
about it.
utility. It is the caring about it. I mean, it's basically like a fucking narrative, right? These things, the price goes up. The price goes up. We have limited supplies. The price goes up. People get in. The utility is just another narrative. Just like distributed autonomous organizations was a narrative. World Computer was a narrative. Digital cash was a narrative. Uncensorable payments was a narrative. But then when you look at the reality is that most people that started accepting Bitcoin stopped accepting it because you just confuse your audience and no one ever uses it. And you can't.
Maybe, or it was
your
the
case
fact
is
that
different.
the fees. Well, yeah, but my understanding is that, I mean, again, I'm new. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But my understanding was that the 2017 thing, the fees went up to $50 per transaction.
Yeah.
And then all the like Steam and all these other platforms were like, whoa, we can't.
But they would have terminated it anyway. See, so
maybe.
high fees is a problem if people are actually trying to buy using that method, but they're not actually trying to buy using that method.
Well, okay.
I have proof of this, okay? I have cryptocurrency, and I can assure you that it's very fucking hard to spend. And places that used to accept it don't accept it anymore. Places that used to, they don't. And it's not because the fees have been high. They haven't been high in a very long time. So,
well, isn't it true? Well, okay, but when did they stop accepting it? Wasn't it around the 17?
No, it's just
range?
the stopping of acceptance has been linear basically the whole time. It didn't really spike when the fees went high. It just seemed like that to you because Steam said that, but no one else actually said that shit. So if everyone had a wallet, then crypto would be the most amazing thing ever. In addition to the insane price gains. Look, pumpamentals.com, 11 extra money in 90 days, in the last 90 days. That's what people really care about.
I'm going to refill my drink.
Paying for stuff, he can still hear me, so I'm going to keep talking.
Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear me too.
So, do you have a problem paying for things? Almost never. Almost never. The people that have problems are some retailers. They're in businesses that are, in some cases unfairly punished, right? So if you had a problem with PayPal having a digital service, other people have had problems, on the dark net, selling the goods that they sell in there. People have had problems with firearm sales. People have had problems with, what do the girls do? Sex work.
Well, there's also examples of
but these are small ass market caps. These are very low percentage purchases of people's annual expenditures. That service, that ability to serve that market would support maybe 5% of the market caps that you see in crypto currently. Speculation is 95% of the value that's in cryptocurrencies. So all this other stuff's okay, but it's not the reason that people are into it for the most part. And by the way, you know how I said, hey, you got wrecked because you got in at 14, 13K? You didn't get wrecked because you didn't buy, which means you didn't help the price, which means that unless the people that you interacted with actually bought and held, that it wasn't useful to have you in the ecosystem. You personally or someone that you interacted with had to buy and hold that shit, or else it didn't move the price up. You just enriched the middleman.
I'll tell you, the very first time I ever bought Bitcoin was because I'm a part of gab.com, which is basically like this Twitter, but they let you say anything you want.
I think it's more like a Reddit, isn't it? Is it more like a Twitter?
It's very Twitterish.
Oh,
in fact,
all right. I've never been on.
So Gab is a free speech Twitter basically, and they have a really bad reputation because that's where all the bad people go that say bad things. I'm not going to say what they say. So I mean,
it's like right-wing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's like an internet ghetto. It's like 4chan but Twitter, basically.
All right.
So they have such a bad reputation that they got banned from literally everything. Like, so they were only accepting Bitcoin, and I wanted the blue check mark, and the only way I could get it was using Bitcoin. So I bought $50, and I bought a year worth of Gab Pro, which was 30.
Right.
I wanted that. I didn't care about price go up and down because I was spending it literally like 30 minutes after
I'm just using it as an opportunity to explain to people that the value of actual economic use in a cryptocurrency is far lower than people think, because he bought it, he used it, and then the people he used it with dumped that shit, and so he caused a little buy and a little sell, and that doesn't move the price up. What moves the price up is buys with no sells. That moves the price up. People actually using e-commerce, buying and selling it, that shit doesn't move the price up.
Okay, but let me ask you this, Richard. Mm-hmm. Why do people sell it for fiat? Isn't it because fiat can be spent more places? So
that's the only reason anyone buys any stock that's ever been purchased.
Therefore, adoption, people, if you could spend.
I'm not saying adoption is bad, bro. I'm just saying that it's like, look at what the price has done with no adoption. We went from fucking 1 penny to $20,000, a 2 million X return in 10 years on fucking adoption.
Are you sure? I mean,
what do you mean? Am I sure? Yes, I'm sure. The on-chain volumes are lower. The fucking wallet, like everything's lower, and yes, I'm very sure no one uses this shit. Okay. Nobody.
Well, then you
Gab.
and I have different.
Just you and Gab. That's it.
It's just me and Gab. Well, maybe.
I mean, look, you can spend hex
today.
You can spend hex on coinpayments.net, and they accept every imaginable crypto. There's like fucking there's 1,000 cryptos they accept. I just discovered that like a day or two ago, and hex has been around 90 fucking days because no one.
But listen, the more places that you can spend it, the less need there is to sell it for fiat. Fiat is useful because
I agree. The reason adoption would be fabulous. I don't dislike adoption. I like adoption.
People like me are what make in the long run. Like I am the adoption. Like I am the.
Yes, it helps. It helps.
Well, because it solved a problem that I literally had. That now I have less of. So. Yeah. I to be honest, I don't care a lot about price go up. I do now because I have fucking so much Bitcoin.
But you would have made more money on that than you did on your business. Like the fucking price go up bullshit that everyone like thinks is like noob shit. That's the only thing that actually matters. Everything else is you could have solved this shit the other ways other businesses have solved it, right? Like the illicit accepting of funds is handled by mislabeling credit card merchant accounts and saying they're for one thing, but really they're for another thing. Accepting Western Union, getting fucking PayPal cards, get like gift cards. This shit is actually solved other ways. I like crypto better, but
if you want to accept payments online, really, there's only really two ways that are easy, which is Stripe and PayPal, and all the other ones. Okay, so when I got banned from PayPal, I moved to Stripe, but then I also tried to sign up for the payment processors that the porn sites use, like Epoch. Yeah. Oh my God. It was so invasive, so hard. They wanted huge deposits. They wanted like huge fees.
Which is just silly because you're selling a fucking ebook, right? Isn't that what you're selling?
Well, it's kind of, but not really. But it's like a course. So like it's it's like a Netflix, but me talking and me doing stuff.
I don't see why everybody should have a fucking problem with that. That's absurd to me, right? Like, shouldn't you be able to sell videos of yourself doing whatever fuck you want? Shouldn't you?
Yeah, you can, but if you can do it on Stripe and PayPal, but if you try to go to one of these other ones, it's really hard. Trust me.
I do trust you. I don't have any.
I tried to sign up for I forgot the other one. There's like 2 or 3 of them that were compatible with my plugin for WordPress, and it was so invasive. One of them wanted to go to my mom's house to verify an address. He's just like, we need to verify your office space. I was like, well, that's my mom's house. I don't have an office because I travel, and they wouldn't let. Yeah. So to me, my perspective is I don't care. I care about is that I can sell my shit and make money. Yeah. So I have PayPal, which I got banned. I have Stripe, which if I get banned from Stripe.
Why don't you tell everyone the link so they can see your shit? Maybe somebody will buy it.
You can just go to the David Bond channel. It's David Bond.
The YouTube?
Yeah, and
Okay.
you'll see my links. I don't want to
Okay.
show all my links.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think it's really cool. I like the fact that I can play poker again for the first time in like 7 years because there's blockchain.poker. Like, do you know how? Okay, this is another thing. I used to play poker every single day. I was like 5 or 6 days a week at the casino. I hired a coach. I was a semi-professional or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I made money and it was fun. When poker got got whacked,
Yeah.
it was over. If you wanted to play poker, it didn't work. They would say your region is not available.
Yeah.
Even to this day, the only way to do it is you have to do this shady ass shit. But guess what? Bitcoin solves that, and now I can finally play anywhere I want with these anonymous, no login, no ID websites. And so, I mean, again, like
that is nice. I mean, if you're into that. Now look, so I have this conflict, right? I like censorship resistance. I like human freedom, but I also hate things that are harmful for people. So
yeah, poker's bad. I saw your video, and I agree with you. I stopped playing, and I realized it was toxic. It was totally a waste of my time.
Everyone else should watch that video. It used to be if you Googled Richard Hart poker sucks, it would pull up, but I changed the title to trading sucks. So if you Google Richard Hart trading sucks, then you'll see. And the short of it is that you sit and stare at a screen trying to take some other guy's money that doesn't want you to have it. He sits and stares at his screen trying to take your money and you don't want him to have it. And there's a guy in the middle that gets very rich watching you guys try and fuck each other. And then that guy loses all the money and runs away with it sometimes. That's what exchanges are. That's what poker is. And that's what trading is. It does not build anything good for the world. It just causes harm. And the person that loses is actually the person that wins because he has to stop fucking around and staring at the screen and actually go be useful to society and go produce something again. So the guy that loses actually wins. The guy that wins, he gets to go and destroy more lives and consume more time doing.
That's a really interesting way of putting it. I agree completely.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I'm under quarantine. Not a lot of options for me to do stuff. So
I know what you
mean. I'll listening to a podcast while playing 20-cent poker. It's fun.
Yep.
But
look, games are fun. I used to be addicted to games for 10 years, and I kicked it, and it wasn't easy. And I'll still watch a gaming stream sometimes because I can stop whenever I want. It's not addictive, right? It's just some shit that's playing in the background.
Let's get into the mud a little bit because the whole price go up thing. I think that is stupid. I do think it's stupid because is there anything like lamer than like I'm gonna throw money in a thing and I'm gonna look at a chart and hope? Like, come on, like that's
not. I don't like
that kind of.
That's not how everyone does it.
and also how now to be fair, I got once I started doing the Bitcoin stuff, I started going down the rabbit hole. I watched all the videos. I even fucking met Roger Ver. I interviewed him for my channel, and I met all these people and I'm going to meetups. It's fun. But the whole idea of a guy like I'm going to buy money and watch it in an exchange like a goldfish, just well,
you're doing it wrong.
Really...
So first of all, once again, pumpamentals.com 11x in price in 90 fucking days. So
that's great.
Did you have to stare at a chart? Nope. Did you have to trade?
Yeah,
no, it's designed to make you not trade. It's designed that you can lock it and then you can't unlock it unless you want to get the shit penalized out of yourself. So
but again, I mean, like.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like getting mad at Facebook. It's like you just bought Facebook stock early and then they took over the world and you made $1 billion. It's lame. Speculating is not lame. Like, there are things that make the world better. You believe cryptocurrency makes the world better. In order for cryptocurrency to make the world better, people have to build on it. In order for people to build on it, they have to get paid. In order for them to get paid, the fucking price has to go up. It does.
No, I want the price to go up. Obviously, I want it to go up. That's good.
But it's tied to development. If the price doesn't go up, you will not get development. So, like, for instance, Ethereum is actually got a lot of development. Hex built on top of Ethereum because of all of the cool features that we get that make Hex more amazing. If you want to margin trade Hex, it's likely to be able to do that soon because that technology is open source and built already.
Don't you think there's something kind of weird of I'm going to buy a thing for the sole purpose
That's the only
of
reason anyone buys any type of financial instrument. That's the only reason anyone has ever bought a stock, is to sell it one day at a higher price. That's it. That's the only reason. People buy Coca-Cola stock not because they're enthusiasts of sugary drinks. They buy Coca-Cola stock because they want to make more money.
That's completely true. But Coca-Cola exists, and there's things that happen in the real world. Whereas,
but as you said, being a replacement for PayPal has value to $1 doesn't
yes,
it? And
yes,
that's worth a few $1 billion. And being able to do censorship-resistant payment for darknets is worth a few $100 million.
Yes.
Right?
If that's one of the things that you hope Hex becomes, then I fully support it. I think it's great.
Well, if you want to
the way you talk about it, you make it sound like, hey, I made this thing that it's hard to get rid of, so it'll go up. It's like it's so like shell game, like hey guys, want to play this? That's how it feels.
Yes, it is how it feels. It is how it feels. It's hard. Look, it's hard for people to understand exponential growth. It's hard for them to understand that they can get richer not doing anything than working really hard and losing all trading. It's counterintuitive that the harder you work, the more you lose. The more you shove your thumb up your ass, the more you win. But that's how it actually works, right? That's how speculating in anything that you chose the right thing works. If you tried to time the market on Facebook or Amazon, you wouldn't have done well because they mostly just go fucking up. So, you usually have to rebuy higher. So it's like, this isn't just a trait that cryptocurrencies have. It's also a trait that Facebook and Amazon have. They just fucking go up, right? I mean, until recently, there's been some shit. If you want to see governments stop funding wars for free, then they need to stop printing money and actually have to tax people for war, and then we won't get war because no one wants to be fucking taxed. So it's an invisible tax that supports the military-industrial complex. The United States spends 11 times the next fucking guys down. So the next 11 people under us in military spending, you combine all of them, you're still less than what the United States spends. Now, conspiracy theories, they love to talk about shit they can't do anything about. Aliens, can't do nothing about it. Bilderbergs, can't do nothing about it. But the real conspiracies that you could do something about, which is the monopolies that delete all your fucking channels, Gmail reading all your email, fucking, and the military-industrial complex spending vastly, infinitely more than necessary. You've already spent more than the next 10 guys. Who the fuck are you defending yourself against? Who are you defending yourself against? It's unreasonable. It's unnecessary. It's a huge waste of resources. Those conspiracies that are fucking out in the open and fucking everyone right in the ass, conspiracy theorists don't care about. They don't care about those. They only care about the fantasy ones that they can dream about, jerk off about, but never actually do anything about. It's disgusting to me. It's outrage porn. Oh, there's these fucking conspiracies and it's all secret. They're keeping secrets from us. No, they're actually fucking you right out in the open, but you're too stupid to care about that. You care about the shit that's not actually happening, that you can't actually do anything about. Blows my mind. So if you want to see a world where human beings can interact with each other with less friction, less middleman, less counterparty risk, cryptocurrency does that. But in order to do it, it needs huge liquidity, which means price go up, and it needs everyone to have a fucking wallet so that we can get circular expenditure, right? Like a whole thing. Food, this gets made, it gets distributed, it gets purchased, and then that money gets back to the person that is going to fucking make it in a circle. And then you don't have to have these 10% friction layers. You need to... So I'm on the same page with you. I'm just saying that, like, that game is 20 years out. That game's 20 years out, 10 years out. The game to get to that game is price go up, which is 10 years out, which is now. Right now to 10 years is price go up, and then you can get adoption and liquidity and utility. Cryptocurrency can never be useful at scale if you have to pay 10% to get in and get out. It can never, ever, ever be useful if you go to the fucking ATM and it takes 10% off your shit to get in. And then when the retailer accepts it, he gets beat by fucking a few percent selling it. You can never, it's inefficient as fuck. It's the worst.
Yeah. Okay,
and until everyone has a wallet, it will always be like that.
But what if people don't desire to get out? What if they can spend it where it doesn't ever get out? Wouldn't that be good too? Isn't that good?
Well, that's price go up. I mean, you just said you didn't like that.
No.
That's my point. Yes.
But so in my case, I'm interested in seeking. So okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you my situation. So I just had a product launch called a digital pickup. Okay, I made $47,000 in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Most of that was in Bitcoin. And guess what? I made it all right before the 40% crash.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. But
well, it dropped more. It dropped more than 40%. It dropped 55%.
Yeah. So, yikes. But so for me, I'm interested in how I can spend this. So right now, my plan is when things start to pop off again, I'm probably gonna buy a bunch of Airbnb gift cards. Maybe I plan on basically selling through gift cards. So it's my version of like transferring it into something that I'll actually spend, or finding, for example, I moved all of my domain hosting to Epic, which allows me to pay in crypto. So I canceled my membership with Bluehost and with I think I forget the name of it. GatorHost, yeah, GatorHost and Bluehost.
I think it's HostGator.
HostGator, yeah. And so I'm trying to set up my life in a way where I spend my crypto more places, because the more useful it is for me, the less need I have to dox myself by sending it to Coinbase, because I don't want to send it to Coinbase.
Look, I like censorship resistance. I like crypto. How many times have I heard people talk about adoption in crypto, and it bothers me and it makes me angry, because one, they think it's required. It's not. Two, they think it like makes the price go up a lot. It doesn't. And then three, they don't actually do anything to try and actually make it happen. So if you wanted to see adoption of crypto for commerce, what you need is less bid-ask spread and less fees and less risk, because
Richard,
you lost half your money.
You sound like Roger Ver, man.
Well, yeah, because he's right on some shit.
Adoption.
Yeah. Yes, he is right on things. He's right on these things. Yeah. He's not wrong.
Yeah,
he's right on a lot of shit.
Me, someone who's new, I think it's incredibly creepy and strange how much hatred there is for him.
Well, it's
kind of. I don't know. I don't know the history. But
well, let's take religion for example, right?
Okay.
There's two ways you could try and do religion, right? You could be like, yes, there's other religions, and we just like ours the best. Okay, that's one way to do it, and then people don't hate you as much, right? Like, does anyone hate the Mormons? Does anyone hate them? No. Okay. But then there's the other way to do religion, which is, we like our religion, it's great, and your religion sucks dick and you're a retard. And then if you do it that way, well, you're going to get a lot of fucking hate. Okay? So Roger spends a large portion, I would say nearly the majority of his public messaging, shit-talking another project. And if you do that, you're going to get extra hate. You're going to. Because motherfuckers put money in, and whether you're right or wrong, they don't care. If you say anything that they don't think makes the price go up, they fucking hate you. If you make a neutral post, they hate you. When I tell people that adoption is not important, they fucking hate me. And it's like,
I think he talks too much about BTC being bad. I think I completely agree on that. I think it doesn't help anybody. I think talking bad about BTC is like, it's kind of like it's like some of the girls that I used to date, they date these new guys and they become obsessed with me, and they end up being these weird stalkers who just talk shit about me. And it's like it just looks insecure. Like, why are you obsessed with me? I'm not even involved with anything you're doing now. So I think there's an analogy there. Like, I agree.
Well, I mean, for my nice humble brag, bro. But
I mean, it's an analogy that came to mind.
So
this happened to me recently.
Yeah, it happens. I have taken a superior path to what Roger has done. Both Roger and I know the reality of what's going on in Bitcoin, but he's eating shit constantly, telling it to people who don't want to hear it, and he's just losing money and mind share doing that. So he's trying to spread what is a lot of times accurate information at mostly cost to himself, and not making the impact that he wants to make, right? So I know the things that are wrong with Bitcoin, but I don't even feature them on the Hex website. They're hidden. There's not even a link to them. There's one hyperlink in one part of a giant wall of text that says like Hex and Bitcoin comparison. And then it goes like, yo, it's more secure, it's faster, it's got all these other features, it's fucking got, you know, higher throughput, like all these things, right? But I don't lead with that because I know my audience has big bags of Bitcoin. So why do I want to shit talk their bag? Right?
Yeah.
Because that's going to piss them off. And then if they're going to sell their bag to get Hex anyway, I'd rather they get a higher value for it. Yeah. So there's an artful way. Yeah. There's an artful way to share truthful information with people. And, you know, you're still going to get a lot of people to hate you. Now, here's my position on it. You don't like me. You don't hate me. Okay, well, were you going to buy Hex anyway? Okay, if you were going to buy Hex, and then some shit I said like turned you off enough to do that, okay, I'm thinking let's make sure I'm really doing the right thing. But if you aren't going to buy anyway, then what the fuck utility to me are you in the world? Are you in the Sci-Vive chat help me cure aging? Are you in the fucking memes chat making funny memes? Like, what utility are the majority of these people that I'm communicating with giving free information, giving free books, giving free chat, giving free videos, giving free coins, giving everything free to these fucking leeches? A lot of them don't have any value. A lot of them don't have any utility. And so I'm very free to fucking block people because they are not giving anything to me, and they're just polluting and cancering up the mind space of my followers by polluting my feed. And so I'm not an advertising platform for stupidity. I'm not an advertising platform for fucking trolls. If you post on my shit and there's a clown or a fucking Pepe in your profile, or you have the word troll in your description, like the last guy I blocked that said, "Oh, I thought you didn't like YouTube." I looked at his profile, the word troll was there, blocked, right? There's better ways to do shit. You're gonna get more done with honey than vinegar. And what's the use of telling people stuff if they're not going to change anyway? To increase the list they have of regret of things they should have done but didn't do, you know? Like, I don't know. To some degree, I would like to tell people, hey, remember you're talking shit about Hex? Okay, it's up 11x in 90 days. Fuck yourself. How's that feel? You could have 11x more Bitcoin now. Fuck yourself. Do you like Bitcoin? You like Bitcoin? You could have had 11x more of it. What now, bitch?
Yeah.
But it's like, and that's just 90 days. I mean, these things go up hundreds and thousands of X historically. We have examples of many different cryptocurrencies with far less features and far less community doing mega multiples beyond this. Like 11x, I feel, is just a start chronologically. We're just 90 days in. Yeah, so the girls thing. I went out and went out every night and lived that party lifestyle. And if you here's the thing that sucks. If you want to have your highest success rate, then you're using your material that's not new. It's the material that works right. And your best material that works right, do you want to spend your life saying that same shit every night? Is that how you want to spend your time? And so then you mix it up and you start getting more creative, and that's fun. But every once in a while, that creativity leads to a big fucking blowout. Like the joke doesn't hit right, or you know, you nag too hard or whatever, and fucking tears start rolling out. And you're like, this one's done. Get the fuck out of here. This did not go well.
So I agree with you. Like I've had a lot of like reflections on life, and you know, I look at how old I am and the things I've done, and for me, I'm more interested in having novel experiences that teach me something, create a story, or get me excited.
All right.
So when I was first starting out, at the beginning, it was just basically about getting laid and that whole adventure. But then as time went on, I found like, you know what, I probably would rather just stay home and do this thing. Like, do I really want to do that? And as time went on, I realized what I really like doing is meeting girls that I like, who can travel with me or can help me make videos, or like, and so I slowly, if you watch my videos, you'll notice a lot of the videos have the same girl in it, and then we're traveling around.
Good looking girl, by the way. Crazy body.
Yeah. It was wasn't cheap, enhanced the boobs, not her, obviously. But the boobs were an investment. So I bought one boob and she bought the other boob.
Well, that's not bad.
And
Do you remember which side you bought, or you didn't assign it?
I don't remember, but I didn't pay with it in Bitcoin. So,
right.
Damn it. No, no, but you know, I agree. I meet a lot of young guys who are really in the whole like get laid every night thing and all that, and I think there's value in that as a man, because
bro, we're programmed for variety, and if you're not getting variety, man, you're just at some part of your fucking core ass programming, you are not happy. Period. And like,
yeah, if you want to talk about variety, right now I'm actually dating a midget. She is 3'11", and I'm not kidding. Go on the YouTube channel. It's one of the latest videos, and she is cute.
Dude, what the fuck?
Dude, it's awesome.
Oh my Lord.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
I've
so if you want to talk about novelty, you know, the only thing left on the list is a girl with one arm, or you know, the list is short, but
hey,
I'm not kidding.
At least you're an equal opportunity employer. I mean,
hey, you know, gotta taste the rainbow. But no, she's really sweet, and actually, I got her into Bitcoin. She has a little wallet, and there's an exchange here in the Philippines called Coins.ph.
Yeah.
And you know, I set her up with that. We experimented with it, and in the Philippines, the wallet accepts Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin, and then she can, at any time, she can shift it into what's called Gcash, not Bcash, Gcash, which is it's a service that all the 7-Elevens use, where it's basically an ATM that you can.
And he dropped. I don't know where he went. I think he was going to say that you can cash out your crypto, which you can do. People do sell. That's how the price goes down. Yeah. So as long, like, I don't give a fuck about anything crypto does at all compared to the price. If I buy, if Bitcoin increases its throughput 1,000,000x, and it can handle all the transactions of the world, but the price goes down 90%, I cannot give a fuck about that. I cannot care. Like, so what? Now everyone that buys can lose money? Like, now we can have people at scale losing money faster? I care about the fucking price a lot, right? Crypto, somebody says crypto is chargeback safe. Let's have a chat about that, okay? The person that gave you their crypto can't charge you back, but the person you sent your crypto to cash out could fuck you, right? So it ain't a chargeback, but you still gotta stagger your risk to your exchanges and shit, because they'll just steal your money, right? Like, one of the things that Hex has popularized, which I'm very happy about, is hexdex.win, which is non-custodial, no counterparty risk. You can transform your money into a stable coin. You can transform your money into another coin. You go Hex to ETH, ETH to Hex, USDC, DAI, all these different things, right? All, you know, hundreds of different ERC20s. You can transform them all into each other. No exchange to fuck you. No fees either. It's a 0.3% spread. So if you look at the code, right, there's like always a 0.3% spread between buy and ask. What else? Yeah, that's progress, right? And that's something Bitcoin will never have. It will never have that. Why? Because you can't program it. Why? Because it's just a stupid network that says, if my number goes down, then that guy's number goes up. And that's called sending. And they sent him that number. And that's all it does. You can do time locking. Do you use time locking? No. Okay. Multisig. Do you use multisig? No. Well, then it just is a fucking number mover, right? So you can't put a distributed exchange on it. We have that already in Hex. Hexdex.win. It's fucking awesome. Let's look at chat here. All right, chat. Let's take a look. Let's get your questions, homies. I'll scroll up a little bit. Somebody says they think the spread is 0.6%, but it is not. The spread is 0.3%. If you use more than one pair, and you're not using a native pair, so in Hexdex, the native base layer is ETH. So if you're going ERC20 to ERC20, then it has to take 2 trips through 2 liquidity pools, and then your effective spread is 0.6%. So, if you want to go USDC to DAI, well, then it's got to go from USDC to ETH to DAI, 0.3% on each one. You end up at 0.6%. But in a single pair, it's just 0.3%. I think. I'm pretty sure. Do I have any actual stocks? Refuse to answer. In theory, any company owner has stock of their own company at least. What are my thoughts on the company chain analysis? Well, they remove people's privacy. How do you feel about privacy? Okay, Mr. Douglas, we're going to have this out now. We're going to figure this out, okay? We're going to go to hexdex.win, and we're going to test his theory regarding the spread. Hey, man.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm going to this website, hexdex.win, on-chain exchange, has hundreds of currencies. It's amazing.
Hex.win.
Hexdex.win. You never been to hexdex.win? It's so good.
Hexde
X.win. Yeah.
X.win.
Yeah, so you can transform ETH into Hex, Hex into ETH, ETH into USDC, cool. USDC into DAI. You can trade anything into anything, just about every ERC20 for the most part. And it's on-chain, trustless, audited, no counterparty risk, no fees, 0.3% spread. Somebody in chat who's, I think, a smart guy usually, or I wouldn't be doing all this math, he keeps saying that the spread's 0.6%. I think the spread's 0.3%, so we're just going to do the math ourselves and verify it. So let's go to the ETH Hex pair, which is native.
Well, are these all like ERC tokens?
Yeah, these are all on the ETH network. But all the stable coins in the world are on the ETH network, 90%. So if you want to get out of fiat into something that's like the dollar, then this is the best way to do it.
This is cool. This is really cool. I love this kind of stuff. See, that's one thing about you. I'll tell you the day I liked you, okay? Because I didn't like you for a long time. I liked you when you started debating people. Then I liked you a lot because I have this thing where I have this weird affinity for people who are disliked. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
There's something punk and hardcore and like rock star about the guy that's not liked. But then you invited people. I remember you said, "Bring your gods here to die." I was like, yes. I was like, I love it. Like I loved it. I screenshot it. I clipped it. And there's I love the power behind being able to debate anybody. And you're like, you don't like me? Come on my show. And you're like, I got no sleep, 3-on-1. He was like, oh, that's so gangster. Because
that
most
was
people
risky. Because I'd been up like 30 hours or something.
Yeah, and I was watching all the hate, all the Hex hate, and you had that one, the first, the first time I ever heard about the what is his name? Peter
McCormick, yeah.
Yeah, that I watched him on your stream, and he got absolutely just evaporated, just totally nuked. And I was like, oh, the stomach was turning into rocks, just like how cringe it was. This guy, he looked like a total just clown. And I was like, damn. And then I looked him up, and apparently he's like a big name, and he's got a podcast. And I'm just like, I became a fan of the Richard Hart, and I started watching all the streams. So cool. It's so awesome.
I think fucking Douglas might be right here. I think it might be 0.6% because that's what Excel sheet's telling me right quick. So I want to tell you how I did the math on this. So I'm on hexdex.win, and I put in 1 Ethereum up top, and then it tells me that you get for 1 Ethereum 276,000 hex. And so I just took this number and I copy and pasted it to Excel, and then I hit the arrow in the middle, and then this is if you were going from hex to ETH. And then you get a different number because you're on the other side of the spread. And so now I've got 2 numbers, a bigger one and a smaller one. The first one was 276, and this one is 277. And then that should be your spread, right? So then I just subtract these 2 numbers from each other. And then I divide that number and I just divided it by both of the first inputs, but they're going to be very similar because they're both like, it's just such a small percent and the numbers are so close to each other, but I did it anyway.
And you're talking about this website where you can...
Yeah, so I'm just calculating. So if you look, if the bid-ask spread is the difference between the price the buyer would pay and the price the seller would sell. So the seller will always sell less because... So here's an order book, right? Here's your bids. Here's your asks. The bids are lower. The asks are higher. In order to execute an order, someone has to use a market purchase to remove liquidity from the other side of the order book. So this would be called lifting the ask, you see, or hitting the bid. Mm-hmm. So if I say, okay, I'm tired of waiting with a limit order, and in this system there's no limit orders, it's an automated market maker, I jump across the bid-ask spread. So, and then they have something called mid-market price, which is basically like bid plus ask over 2, right? Like what's right in between. So if I buy, I'm paying higher. If I sell, I'm getting less for my money. And that difference between, it's called the bid-ask spread. Mm-hmm. And it's, well, who benefits from it, right? In this system, the liquidity provider benefits from it. And anyone could be a liquidity provider. And in order to be a liquidity provider, you just put in an equal amount of the two pairs. So in the case of the Hex and Ethereum pair, you'd put in an equal value of Hex and Ethereum. And then if you want out, you remove both. If you want in, you put in both. You can't move the price. You can only add liquidity on both sides. So that 0.3% goes to the liquidity providers. So I did the math, and he is right. It's 0.6%. So the difference between being a buyer and being a seller is like 0.6%, which is pretty fucking good. Like if you look at the liquidity, so you're only paying 0.3%, but the other guy's paying 0.3 and they add up to 0.6, right? So if you look at the liquidity on this, people don't understand this. If you go on a normal exchange and you go to sell some coins, they aren't going to fucking warn you. They're going to let you get ruined and have your price executed somewhere in the middle of nowhere if it's a thin order book, right? So let's say you're on an order book that has Bitcoin, and for whatever reason it's like a dead exchange, okay? And they've got one Bitcoin for sale at $10,000, and then the next order is a Bitcoin for sale at $5,000, and then the next order is a Bitcoin for sale at $1,000, and you sell 3 Bitcoin, you drive the price all the way down to fucking 1,000, 10x less, right? Whoa. Most exchanges aren't going to warn you about that. They're happy to see it. They're like, hey, look, a wick, volatility. Look how we make money on volatility. This system warns your ass. So if you click the red text, which, if you don't have a wallet connected, this is no Ethereum wallet found. We're on hexdex.win. If you, I could share this screen. I could, one day. It's I don't want to set up software in the middle of the call. If you go down to the bottom, we can test how thick the order book is, right? So we click the red text, and it shows us, you're selling for one ETH, and your expected price slippage is 0.01%. So you don't even see that 0.3% fee. It's like it doesn't exist. You see this price slippage of 0.01%. Okay, well let's increase it an order of magnitude. Let's go to 10 Ethereum. Okay, now our price slippage is 0.04%. That's fucking nothing. You go to withdraw off Coinbase, it's 0.5%. It's 12x more, right? So this is a 12x better. Huh?
There's a guy on the other side.
The automated market maker is on the other side. And anyone can be that guy. Anyone can be the automated market maker by just adding to the liquidity pool. But
this reminds me of Sideshift.ai a little bit. Are you familiar with?
I've not used it.
It's awesome. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's the same shit, except it's limited to things that are on the ETH network, and there's no counterparty risk. So there's 100 different front ends that you can use that all point to the same contract. So it doesn't matter whether this site goes down or not. It's irrelevant.
So I have a really newbie question.
Sure.
I know that everyone's going to laugh at me, but I remember in the streams you talked about you can claim your free Hex with your Bitcoin claim. What does that even mean? Because I have Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. How do you
Did you have it on December 1st, 2019?
Yeah.
Well, then you get free Hex.
But what does it mean to claim? Like, how do I do that?
So when you send a Bitcoin transaction, you're just using a cryptographic signature to prove that you have the private key. And you can also sign other transactions that aren't transactions. You can sign statements. So you sign a Bitcoin statement from your wallet using like Electrum or Coinomi, and then you just copy paste that statement into the website, and you mint your own coins. Costs you like a penny.
Yeah, because I remember Roger on your stream, he's like, I claimed my hex. I was like, what? How do you claim?
You just go to go.hex.win and paste your Bitcoin address in, and then it says, okay, sign this.
.hex.win.
Yep.
But do I have to have MetaMask to actually, what wallet?
You need to use MetaMask for the Ethereum side.
Okay.
You don't have to. Like if you have a ledger, there's another website you can use called hardhex.xyz.
Okay.
It's full ledger support.
So is it too late to claim?
No, you can claim. You're just missing a third of your stack and a third of your bonus because you're a third late into the launch phase.
So do I get more hex if I have more Bitcoin?
If you did in the beginning, yeah. Yep.
Oh. Okay.
Unless you're a whale, and then you get less because we have a whale penalty. If you have 1,000 Bitcoin, you get penalized 50%. If you have 10,000 Bitcoin, you get penalized 75%.
Okay. Yeah, I remember hearing about this. I just didn't know I didn't know what it meant to claim. I didn't understand it.
You just go into go.hex.win, paste your go.hex.win, paste your Bitcoin address in, and then it's going to say sign this. You copy paste that to your wallet. You sign it. You copy paste the signature. You submit it.
Cool.
Costs you a penny of Ethereum.
Is that what airdrop? Is that considered airdropping?
Well, not really, because an airdrop, someone else has to have something first. It has to exist, and then they're giving it to you. In this system, you are minting your own coins. They didn't exist before you created them, so you're doing all the work. It's not actually an airdrop.
Yeah, the only experience I have with airdrop is occasionally I'll get sent BitTorrent coins. I'm like, every time it happens, I'm like, what the fuck? Who sent me this? What is this? And I'm like, I don't want this. How do I make it hide the balance of 0.001 cents? I'm like, what is this shit?
That's funny. So,
do you know doesn't that happen?
Well, I know that somebody was doing it with Hex to get that to happen to other people, but with Hex. So, yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, there's this website called hexviz.xyz that has audio notifications anytime anything happens, a stake, a claim, a send. And then when these big batches will go through of like many thousands of sends, it just explodes with sound and shapes with all the transactions. Yeah. It's hexviz, hexviz.xyz. Yeah. We have the coolest websites in crypto in Hex. Hex.live, Hex.vision, hex-data.com, hexviz.xyz, hexotc.win, like Hex Lotto, Hex Games, Hex 2, Hex Rise. We've got
What's the main website? Hex.win is the main website, right?
That's the one that just tells you the most stuff about the core project, but all these other things, these auxiliary things.
They're like a place that has all the links?
Yeah, up at the top of Hex.win. The first paragraph has all those links.
Nice, okay.
Except the gaming sites. We need to create a page that shows the gaming sites. I kind of am biased against games, but they're useful to the ecosystem, so to some degree they should get press, you know? So they don't need to be featured up top, but
the more uses this has, then I think it's better.
Yep. So about girls, like I'm trying to, I don't know, like there's a lot of people having relationship problems right now, a lot, and the divorce lawyers are going to have a lot of money after this lockdown's over with.
You gotta get a sex doll.
I don't think that would be any good. I can't imagine a sex doll could be any good.
I had a company sent me a couple sex dolls. They're pretty crazy.
Yeah, it seems weird.
It is. It's
the uncanny valley.
Not to derail the conversation, but continue on your point.
So, I don't. For me personally, I am not interested in monogamy whatsoever at all. I have no interest in it. I've done it. It's okay. I like more. More for me is better. And it's when you live that lifestyle, it's hard, right? Because girls are programmed the other way. A lot of them, most of them.
Sure.
They want to either appear monogamous and then cheat on you, or actually be monogamous. Probably the majority of them. So you got to know what you want, and you got to broadcast what you want. And as long as you're high value and high quality and a better option for them than other options, and you're upfront about what your deal is, and you've got enough opportunities, enough dice rolls, enough, social activity, you'll end up being happy. It just takes time, But if you suck, like, life sucks. Like, if you suck, if you're 5, you need to lower your standards, right? Like, this is, in this world, the 10 should get the 10s, the 9 should get the 9s, the 8 should get the 8s. That's how it would work in a good setup system. And if you're a fucking 5 and you're only going to be happy with 8s, boy, you're going to have to do a lot of dice rolls,
Well, I think, like, one mindset that I have, a lot of my viewers, or whatever you want to call them, audience. I have a little Telegram. We talk about girl stuff occasionally, and most of the time, my advice in general is stop focusing on getting girls and stop try to be like, why not like work on yourself? Like, here's a classic question is I meet a lot of girls on Instagram, and the way I do it is I actually run ads. So I trick Instagram into thinking that I'm selling a product, but I'm actually just selling myself.
Nice.
So there, it's in my digital pickup, the program called the digital pickup. So I'll run ads, I'll target based on gender, age, and demographics, and I'll film a story of me. I'll say certain things. It baits someone into replying to the ad. Yeah. But a lot of guys say, "Oh, but Dave, it's because you have these cool Instagram. You have all these cool pictures of you doing cool things. I can't do it." It's like, well, why don't you do cool things?
Right.
Like you're saying it only works because I have cool pictures of me doing cool things.
Yeah.
And you can't do that because you don't have photos of cool things. Well, don't you see the problem isn't the girls, it's you. Why don't you do cool things? Yeah. Why don't you be the type of guy that people want to hang out with?
Yeah.
Instead of everyone, most guys, like, lazy, most guys in general, it's like they want everything to be like Amazon. Hey Dave, what button can I push to have a girl? What's the button? Can you sell me the button? It's like, no fucking. Okay, sorry, I don't want to get you more.
Hey, no, I don't think they mind cursing, but
okay. So why don't you make yourself better, and make that the focus first?
Right.
It's like, to buy something you need money. Why not focus on making money?
Yeah.
Like, money is the value that you're trading. It's like, but I want a girl. Teach me how to push the button. It's like, dude.
I wrote in depth about this in the book that I wrote called Sci-Vive, which is the title of the channel here, that you could download for free at t.me/Sci-Vive, and just go to the relationship section, and you're going to hear.
Great. I didn't know you had a book.
Yeah, you're going to hear about how to dress and how to talk and how to do a lot of stuff.
Send me the link. I love it.
t.me/Sci-Vive.
I'll tell you another thing that made me like you a little bit is when you had these guys go on, and I guess if people Google you, the Spam King thing comes up and they bring it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like, how funny. Because I don't know if you've ever Googled me, but it ain't good. It's all about how I'm, like, wanted by the fucking police, and how there's a petition and, thousands of signatures to ban me from WordPress. And it's like,
jeez, what did you do? What did you do?
Talk to girls, man. People hate it. People hate it. They're like, this guy is making girls laugh. Yeah. That needs to be stopped immediately.
There's a whole forum of people that hate PUA guys. I think it might have closed. It was like PUAhate.com. Bunch of very angry
I remember
people.
hearing about that.
I don't think it exists anymore,
but to be fair, I mean, there's a long history that explains a lot of that stuff. Most of it is social manipulation. So one of the things I used to do to make my channel get a lot of views is I would actually trick the media into covering me.
Good.
The way that I would do this is I would create multiple accounts on Facebook and contact media outlets and tell them certain things that weren't true. Nice. And then I would drum up a story, and then I would, like, post some videos, and it was like this huge orchestrated
guerrilla style,
thing.
Bro.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I'm impressed because I haven't done anything near this cool in a very long time.
Well, it was cool, but it was also scary. So I was on international media outlets 45 times total across a bunch of countries, and it was all fucking fake. And it was literally just me lying. The problem is
Okay,
I got a
that part, but-
I got a bunch of bad articles written about me that I'm a terrorist.
Oh,
But,
Jesus Christ.
so whenever I heard about your Spam King stuff, I was like, "Oh my God, I relate with that."
Woo!
Like, the guy who Googles you and he's like, what I found? It's
Yeah.
like, shut up.
Like,
You're
wait,
crazy.
you have Google? Whoa.
It's like, did you
Whoa.
know someone
Wow.
I don't know said
Yeah.
something? It's like,
Amazing.
what? Yeah.
So, like, here's the funniest part about the Spam King stuff. It's like, hold on a second. So you're saying I'm really good at marketing? Wait a second.
Yeah.
This, are you trying to help me? I don't understand.
Let me actually, I'm going to look it up because I remember seeing this photo of you. It's like this old, yeah, here we go. This little, it's so funny. It's so stupid. I didn't even look at it. I just saw the photo, but yeah.
Well, like, if everyone hates Elon Musk, everyone hates Jeff Bezos, everyone hated Steve Jobs, if you're making any type of impact or difference in this world, you will be hated. I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't care who you are. I don't care your gender, nationality. There's so much hate to go around. And by the way, the reason that they hate is because everyone wants to feel important. And at a distance, the easiest way to feel important is to create an us versus them mentality. And then whoever you're talking to is the us that's near you, they can associate with you. And then the them that's far away, let's hate them, right? And then our bond is stronger, and then they're over there. But then when a high value person that's hated comes closer, and then you think you might be able to actually work with them, supplication, total, right? Like, oh, I didn't mean to talk all that shit. Like, we can work together, right?
Yep.
So it's like people don't realize that the hatred is just them trying to feel important. Well, they're just trying to feel important, but they don't realize that's what it is. Like they don't understand that the reason that jealousy exists, that there are environments that human beings have lived in where jealousy and vengeance were effective strategies that paid off and the game theory worked out in those quantities of humans, right? And now we're just stuck with those left over. Like me, I still like fatty and sugary foods because fats and sugars used to be rare. Well, they're not now, so look at me. So I'm programmed for a world that doesn't exist anymore. And that jealousy and hating everybody that is making a bigger difference than you, that is a leftover component that was effective in small societies that we don't live in anymore. If you're like that guy that's about vengeance and somebody cuts you off in traffic and you get out of your car and you beat their ass, as soon as you get back in your car, another guy is going to cut you off too, because he doesn't know what you did to that last guy, because the society's too large for that strategy to work. So you can't do tit for tat on the highway. You'll spend all day beating asses and your hands will be sore and you'll still be getting cut off by everybody because the society's too large for that strategy to work. And then, that exists with all the other emotions that people have that they execute on the internet. Jealousy, rage, it's unhealthy for people. So I try and advertise superior paths for people to follow, right? Like this, like the path that you suggested, which is improve yourself. Yes, you will bring you to your next relationship, and you should only get what you deserve. And what you deserve is how much better you are than the other people around you. You want people to get the best choice they can make. Do you want people to do the best they can? Well, then you need to be that best choice for them, or else you're fucking them over, right? Like if you suck and scheme yourself into someone's life, you fuck them over because they could do better than you.
What's funny is a lot of people they hate that answer. It's like they hate the answer of like I have to improve myself. Like,
and dude, I don't think people realize how hard the game is. So, if you want to run game at your maximum possible level, you got to use skin cream. You got to fucking do your eyebrows. You got to get a fucking tan. You got to get your teeth whitened. You got to go to the gym. You got to have a clean as fuck diet. That's just like baseline without talking or activity. That's like baseline shit. Just to like get even in the fucking game if you really want to play it.
The thing is, a lot of that stuff's good.
It is all good. I'm just saying that. I mean, look, people are doing steroids. A lot of people are doing steroids. And so when you look on fucking Instagram and you see these people with fucking six packs, yeah, they work out, but they also had a good genetic to start with, and then they did steroids on top of that genetic. And so like the amount of fucking, if the game really is you got to be the best option for somebody, holy shit, there's people working real fucking hard. Dude, in Australia, everybody shaves their fucking legs. The guys. You're like, geez, I mean, I don't want to shave my legs. Like, I'm not fucking... At some point, you're just like, how much effort do you want to put in to fucking... And it's not just guys that are doing it. I mean, girls spend hours on that shit. Hours. Like, daily. You're like, fuck, do you want to put in that percentage of your life into that? Sure. Like, is that how you want to spend your time? As guys, we do have it easier. We don't have to put in much time. Like, you whiten your teeth once every, like, what, fucking 6 months or something, you know? You do your eyebrows once every, like, you know, fucking
not to month, change the subject or derail, but the coronavirus is a topic I don't care to talk about very much. But when I actually don't know what country you reside in. I'm
Nobody
sure you
does.
won't tell me.
I don't tell anybody.
I'm sure you won't tell me. That's totally fine. But how is it in your place, wherever
Nobody
it is?
Nobody knows what I drive. Nobody knows where I am, and I love it.
What I'm ultimately asking is, how has life been since the quarantine?
Well, I don't go outside, and I didn't go outside before, and I don't go outside now, so nothing changed. For me, nothing changed. Okay. Yeah, so you're like, oh, you want to launch a cryptocurrency? Okay, well, you're going to be stuck on that computer, homie, you know?
Okay.
And like, there's just outside has not been a thing for me for a while.
Is the reason you take so much precaution in your privacy mostly due to the Hex project, or is it?
No, it's always been that way. It's always been that way. It's the reason that everyone uses a screen name. Why does everyone use a screen name? It's
sure, but not disclosing what country is quite extreme. I think, like, you know, I don't really care. What I'm really asking is, like, what
you measure your upside and you measure your downside, right? Okay, what's the downside? Motherfuckers coming to beg me for money. Okay, and what's the upside? Ain't no upside. There ain't no upside. There's none.
Yes.
Like,
well,
it's all suck.
You could just casually talk to people. That's kind of.
I do casually talk to people. They're just not the same people, you know. Like, okay.
Let's talk, Richard. He's in the Philippines. Yeah. I saw him.
Let's talk about crypto people, right? I've been to a lot of meetups. I've met a lot of crypto people, right? Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's just, these are the people you want to party with. No, these are not the people I want to party with. Sure, the people I want to party with, for the most part, don't give a fuck about crypto, not even a little bit. Might not understand it if you explain it to them.
Yeah, I've never gone to a thing. I got invited to a couple things though. People want to take advantage of my audience. They're like, you got a lot of, you know, which is good. I mean, that's fine. It comes with territory. But
like
I want to go to these things. They look
I'm not thinking to myself, man, I really, like, you know, let's say Adam Back, right? He's a math guy. Helped, you know, I think co-founded Blockstream. Came up with hashing for proof of work was his idea, right? He's quoted in the Bitcoin white paper. I know Adam. Adam's a smart guy. We like to talk smart people shit. Do I want to go to the club with him and try and get laid? No, not even a little bit. So like, it's totally different. Fucking, my desire to be intellectual and businesslike and those things is more than fulfilled digitally, and I don't need that shit like IRL. Like,
so here's a random question: who top 3 crypto people or projects? What are the 3 that you like, and what 3 that you don't like?
Top 3 crypto projects. Ethereum sick as fuck.
Projects or people.
I'll just tell you everything I like. It's a pretty short list.
Okay.
Ethereum is awesome because Hex uses it. Everything Ethereum improves Hex, and you have distributed finance, and you have on-chain exchange, and you have on-chain trading, and you have no counterparty risk, and you have the ability to build whatever the fuck you want to build within some very strict constraints. Like your ability to actually do powerful things. Like, you can't do anything more complex than Hex. We push the limit. You can't. It's not possible to extract more performance out of the system. You just can't do it. It's a very, like, your pocket calculator is 1 million times more powerful than the Ethereum network can be. So you pay a very heavy price for that censorship resistance. But you can still build amazing things, right? They're just, restricted on throughput and restricted on how much processing you can do. But if you, with limited processing, can do something really cool, then you can do a lot of really cool shit. So Ethereum's amazing. Hex is amazing. Pumpamentals.com. And Monero's cool. They've got the largest anonymity set if you want to have privacy with your money. Yeah.
I have a bit, and any chance I have the opportunity to use it, I totally, if there's this cool site called Travela that you can book hotels and stuff, and
yep.
I choose to do Monero if I can because they accept it.
Yep.
And I have a funny story. I booked a hotel. I actually booked a hotel in Bali with Travela, and I misspelled the name. And the hotel was so freaked out because they're like, well, can you show us the credit card you used to purchase? I was like, well, I didn't use a credit card. Right. They're like, well, how did you pay? I was like, a gift card? They're like, well, who bought the gift card? I'm like, and I realized the more questions they asked, it looked so shady, and they wouldn't let me stay. They wouldn't let me stay in the hotel.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're like, sir, the name is wrong. It's off by 3. You misspelled the thing. Yeah. We can't contact. We don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is the price I paid for using this, I guess.
True.
But it was the first time I had ever been questioned, and they didn't understand the concept that I had paid with something that wasn't a credit card.
Yep.
And I didn't want to talk about cryptocurrency because in Indonesia, to pay with anything other than the rupiah is a crime.
Didn't know.
Now, I didn't know if this qualified or not.
Yeah.
So I was like, to be fair, it was 2 nights. It wasn't I didn't lose a lot of money.
Right.
But it was an interesting experience, to say the least.
Other projects I like. I mean, hexdex.win is fucking amazing. The ability to transact anything versus anything else is amazing. By the way, we never finished that liquidity story. The liquidity story was you basically only move the price 4% with 1,000 ETH. And 1,000 ETH is like $160,000. So if you put in if you did in a single transaction $160,000 buy, you'd move the price up 4%. Or you'd move the price up more, but your slippage would be 4%. So you would get you'd pay a 4% higher price overall. That's a lot of liquidity. That's top 65 liquidity across all cryptocurrencies. And that's in a single exchange. These other cryptocurrencies that you see ranked on CoinPaprika by their liquidity, they combine the liquidity of all the order books. This is, for Hex, just one of the order books. And it's extremely, extremely liquid. So there's about $8 million of liquidity in there, which is about $4 million on the bid side and about $4 million on the ask.
That's awesome.
So hexdex.win, pumpamentals.com, Monero, Ethereum.
People. Let's talk some shit.
I should mention Bitcoin, but I don't really like it that much. So it works.
Yeah, the only thing that Bitcoin
it's got liquidity
has going, is that
it moves everything else's price. So if Bitcoin goes up, everything's going up. So you need to know it's there.
I think Bitcoin's cool, and I like it. I think it's great.
It's just so fucking slow. It's so fucking horribly, terribly slow. When you send Hex, that shit gets there in 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. Faster, cheaper.
If you pay 5 cents or 10 cents. If you pay 2 cents, it might take a minute. So can you imagine trying to fucking run a business and having to wait hours for every transaction to go through? It'd be a goddamn nightmare.
Well, I know that in the Bitcoin Cash people, they are all about the zero confirmation stuff.
It's not safe.
Low.
Sure, for low,
so?
you can do whatever you want.
I think most of it is low though.
Well, then
I think
that's fine.
90%. I think 90% of
Yeah, if it's low fee, who cares? It's not worth someone's time to steal it, then sure. But if you're into zero conf, you don't need a blockchain. You could use fucking email. You say, hey, I paid you, or I will pay you, or whatever. It's there's a reason the word is called confirmation. You actually need them, because here's how it works, right? If you accept zero conf, then I can just spend that same zero conf at the same time to everyone that will accept it, and then you all just got tenupled spent, right? I didn't double spend.
Really?
I fucking infinite spent against all of you at the same time because you all
And that's
accepted my
possible?
zero conf. Sure. That's the reason we have confirmations. All confirmations do is prevent double spending. That's it. That's all they do. That's the only reason they exist, is preventing double spending. That's it. That's the only reason, by the way, cryptocurrency fucking exists. That's the only interesting thing Bitcoin did was solve double spending.
I'm new to this stuff. I'm not super technical.
Sure.
My understanding is that BTC has the replace by fee feature where BCH doesn't. And
It
so
doesn't really
therefore,
matter.
well, my understanding is that with the replace by fee, you can pay for something, they accept zero conf, and then you do the replace by fee, you make the Satoshis per byte higher, and you send it to yourself, and it kind of like stole the money.
But you can
like
but you could just have sent it to yourself at the same time. So you didn't have to.
Let me ask you this.
You didn't have to stagger the transactions. You could just pay everyone at the same time.
The poker site that I play on is poker or blockchain.poker.
Yeah.
So are you saying that right now, because like 90% of the games are BCH, if I wanted to buy in to, let's say, $100 game, that I could somehow, because they do zero comp, that I could somehow deposit it and then send it to myself at the same time, and then it wouldn't. Really?
Yeah.
I can you teach me how to do that? Because I think it'd be fun to like.
No, I'm not going to teach you how to steal from people. So, like, the reason that you have confirmations is to prevent double spending. The reason that you have a blockchain is to prevent double spending. If you only used signatures that said, "Here is my password to pay you," then you could use your password to pay 100 people at the same time. They'd all check your password. Your password would be good. They would all give you whatever you bought. And then they would all find out that you had paid a bunch of people with the same password. So transaction ordering and double spend prevention are the only interesting things that Bitcoin does. That's it. That's the only reason it exists. It's the only interesting thing it does. It's the only thing. I
just feel like if you could double spend BCH as easy as you described, I feel like it would be happening a lot.
Well, it is. It does happen. You can Google it. Like, that's not zero confirmation. Look, zero confirmation is not safe. That's why the term confirmation is used. It's not safe. Anyone can double spend your ass because you don't know whether they spent the money somewhere else or not because you didn't wait to find out. There's the speed of light. If a transaction happens on one side of the world and the other side of the world, the laws of physics do not allow you to know that it occurred unless you wait for the speed of light to get to you. And because processing exists, you have some extra latency there. So it's very obvious that accepting zero conf is not safe on two sides of the world at the same time without waiting to see whether the other side of the world got spent or not. It's not safe. It doesn't make any sense. So, but if you're doing it for values that are so low no one cares to steal them, then sure, you can do it. I mean, listen, one confirmation's not safe if people are really willing to fuck around. There's a reason that you have to wait for 6 confirmations in Bitcoin to be really safe. And when somebody sent $1 billion Bitcoin transaction, they actually endangered the security of the network because you could roll back 20 days of transactions and still be profitable.
That's another question. What does it mean to roll back? I have heard this so many times. Rolling back the chain. What the fuck? What does that even mean?
Well, sure.
I don't know what that means.
You've got an Excel spreadsheet that you keep track of who you paid. And then
does that mean all the payments get reversed, like with everybody?
Well, no, you can do it selectively. You can just roll back certain transactions. So you can say, hey, you know this transaction that paid that guy? Yeah, that didn't happen anymore. Just print it, just pull it out. This actually happens all the time, but you just don't notice it. So
the person who got rolled back, they would see a deposit, or it would just magically come back?
Oh, no, it would be like it never happened.
So let's say I accidentally spent $1 billion, and then someone who has the power, theoretically, it doesn't matter what crypto.
Well, it's a miner. The miners have the power. So the miners, this is some really noob shit. This is super, super basic. So let me rephrase that. It's insanely complicated, but it is what the blockchain is. So what I'm describing to you is what the blockchain is. Okay. A blockchain is a chain of blocks, and a block is just a few orders. Okay, and what are orders? This guy got money from this guy. That's all it is. Yeah. So a block is, okay, this guy gave money to that guy, this guy gave money to that guy, this guy gave money to that guy. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to hash that and do some math to make a number that represents those, and some mathematical representation of those things' identity. Right? You perform some code on those letters and numbers, and it generates this fucking thing. And now the only thing in the world that will generate that thing, that hash, is that exact thing, because it has a one-to-one relationship. There's no collisions. So every time this changes, the hash changes. You can always, it's just like your name, right? Your name represents you, but it's not unique. There's collisions. Other people have your name. Well, hashing doesn't have that problem. Every time it gets a hash name, it represents that thing forever. That's why they're useful. It's the only reason we do it. It's for that uniqueness. So now it's time to create a new block. 10 minutes has passed. Well, it's not that 10 minutes has passed. It's that we have new transactions that are hitting the memory pool that need to be rolled into blocks to prove that the money was spent so that it can't be double spent. So a miner looks at the memory pool. He runs his node and he looks at the memory pool and he's like, okay, there's new transactions. Oh shit, I've solved that hard math problem that allows me to be the winner of the block reward, the 12.5 Bitcoin. So I'm going to take these transactions that are in the mempool, put them in a block, receive the fees, and then what is that hard transaction that I had to do? It's to actually use that hash of the last block as the input to some math that is hard because I have a difficulty target I have to hit. And then that becomes the new block. And the next guy has the next problem. He goes, okay, there's the hash of the old block. I use that as my input to make the next block. I take my fees from these transactions. I shove them in there. Hey, I did the math. I outcompeted all the other miners. I get to win the reward. And then you make your next block, right? And so all you have is this chain of transactions with a hash that proves that a lot of work was done because it was difficult to generate that hash because it has a number of leading zeros in front of the number, which makes it hard to find. And now that's what creates your chain of trust, is the economic energy that went into the hash rate that locked each block. Now here's where the problem comes up. If you have enough hash rate, you can go back in time to those earlier blocks and just recreate the work and create a different chain, a fork. And if you get ahead and get longer, then the network says you're the authoritative chain, you're the real chain, and you get to rewrite history. It's called a reorg. It happens sometimes. So, you found a block and then some other guy found 2 blocks real quick. Okay, well now he's ahead. Well, now you get orphaned and you don't get any money and it's like your transactions never happened. And this happens all the time, which is part of the reason blockchain is horrible to develop on. Horrible. Because people say, oh, it's immutable. No, it's fucking not. You have to deal with those orphans and reorgs when they fucking happen. And so some shit that you wrote to the chain can get disappeared out of the chain. And so you can't actually trust the chain. You have to have your own copy of what you tried to tell the chain to write and then make sure it actually wrote it and fucking alert you if the state changes. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to develop on the blockchain. It has no throughput, high cost, totally fucking unreliable. Oh, you wanted to write? Okay, block's full. Fuck yourself. You can't write. Oh, you wrote? Okay, reorg. Your shit didn't actually write. Good luck. I hope you can detect that. Ha ha. There's a name for that in normal computing. It's called bit rot, where you write some shit to your hard drive, and then one day when you go to read it, it ain't fucking there anymore. Which is why if you run a RAID array, it reads through all the data and goes, hey, this shit's missing on this drive, so let's repopulate it from that drive that still has it and maintain the security and redundancy of the array. So this is a long ass, you asked, man.
No, I'm interested. Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So this is what a blockchain is.
I've always heard these terms and I don't know what they mean. I'm like, what the fuck? Roll back the chain?
So it's just an Excel sheet of transactions that get locked just about every 10 minutes, but it's a Poisson distribution. It's a curve. It's kind of like
hitting Control Z on like one person.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you're just like, hey, that shit. It's like editing a book. It's just like going into the Excel sheet and be like, yo, you remember how this guy got paid at that point? Yeah, that didn't happen.
Control Z.
And these other guys got paid instead, right? So, yeah, it's called a reorg, and it happens and you have to be able to account for it. And ZeroConf gives you no protection whatsoever against double spends. And double spend protection is the only reason we use blockchains, because we had digital cash, we had Chaumian cash, we had other things that could move money around. But the problem is the double spending, right? How do you know that the money you got, you can spend because someone else didn't already respend it, because you both got paid the same money and he respent it first, and now you're fucked. Your money's like invalid, right?
Interesting.
So in Bitcoin, you need to wait 6 confirmations if you're going to send a lot of money, so that your money doesn't get reorged out and what you thought you had, you didn't really get. Like, you thought you had it and it said you had it, and then it got reorged and now you don't have it anymore.
What do you think of all this lightning stuff that people talk about?
I mean,
have you ever tried to use it?
No, it's too hard.
I tried. Yeah, me too. I tried. I was at a meetup and everyone's arguing with me about why I'm stupid or something. I was like, okay, well, show me. Let's teach me. And even the people who were advocating it didn't know how to use it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what the
hell? It
hell?
won't always be that way. I mean, eventually it'll work right. But right now, like,
I want it to work. I think it'd be cool. But
dude, it's just extra throughput, right? So we have extra, like, if you want extra throughput, we already have that in Ethereum using ZK rollups, 500x TPS. Like you can do like 2,500 to 5,000 transactions per second using ZK rollups on Ethereum now. So we have on-chain security guarantees that are 1,000 times higher throughput now. We have them now. They work now. We have in Hex, we have transactions that go through in 10 seconds. Now.
Right.
So why the fuck do I care about this weird shit that doesn't work, that has less liquidity? Yeah. There's less Bitcoin on the Lightning Network than there is in Bitcoin in the Ethereum network. There's more wrapped Bitcoin in Ethereum than there is in Lightning. So, like, what? Like, why do I care? Like, yes, I hope it works out. I hope if it works out for Bitcoin, it'll work out for a lot of coins, because the vast majority of coins are just forks of Bitcoin. If it works for Bitcoin, it'll work for shitloads of coins. So I hope it does work. But we have better solutions already that work now.
Have you had those? Are those the same candles you've had this whole time?
Well, one of them I knocked over when I was setting up for a show here. I should have picked the fucking thing up.
Yeah, because all your videos.
So there used to be red candles, which I think are aesthetically superior. However, when Hex launched, I decided I'd make them green because, in the West, we have green candles for upward price movement. In the East, it's backwards. It's actually red is funny. Up there. Well, so I changed them for.
Yeah, and so what inspired, like, I messaged you on Telegram, like, yo, when are we going to do an interview? And you just agreed to it. Did you have any, what makes you so spontaneous to
I'd already shaved. I had already shaved, and I'm like, yeah,
you weren't worried about me
I'm just stuck at home.
Weird or
I don't care. Like, you can't.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you agreed really quickly. I didn't know. Did you know who I was?
No.
Before?
Well, I know that you'd done, like, you'd posted in chat a couple times. Like, basically, you posted in chat a couple times. I said, all right, this guy seems smart. He does commerce on the internet. That's good enough for me. Most people don't do real business. They don't know shit about it. I like real business people. I appreciate.
Yeah, I left the Telegram for a long time. I sent some voice notes and everyone got mad, and so I was like, I'll just leave. And then I
think people like the voice shit, dude.
Maybe not.
Try it again. Look, it's back when you joined. Then I allowed more contentious voices. I allowed trolls to exist because we would convert them.
Sure.
But now that we've got 20,000 plus people inside the chat,
yeah, you do.
I don't allow the troll shit. You want to troll? Fuck off.
Well, it was just voice notes.
I'm saying there aren't antagonistic fuckfaces in chat anymore to troll you. There's only good people in there now. It's been curated because we're too large to endure that. Like, we don't have time to play the troll game to onboard them. Because we used to just convert the trolls into believers, but there's too many people now. We can't endure that cost. They have to fuck off and learn later. Yeah, come back in the channel, man. That's great. I think.
I'm here. I don't mind. I mean, I've been trying to reorganize my Telegram because my Telegram channels are so. I'm in some of the weirdest stuff. Most of it is weird memes. I'm in a bunch of animal attack channels and like I'm in a bunch of racist channels.
Oh my God. God,
Seriously,
why?
like, it's awesome. It's just like, well, what I like about Telegram is you can basically hit anything.
I didn't even know there were racist channels on Telegram.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I didn't
I'm
know.
in like 3 or 4, like hardcore.
Do they hate everybody except whatever race they are?
Well, I mean, can I talk about it? Like, I'm not going to say any bad
I
words,
guess.
but
I mean, why not?
there's some there's literal like neo-Nazi like Telegram channels that are like
It's weird.
like advocating for like the Nazi theories and
So
stuff.
dumb.
And yeah, and
So
there's like some animal attack ones that I'm in.
What is that?
So this one's called Bloody Animals.
Are animals attacking people or other animals?
No, it's animals attacking animals. So it's like lions fighting zebras and like
okay.
like there was a video of like a hawk attacking a goat. It's like that kind of stuff.
All right.
And there's some gore
Is it the one
ones
where the
that I'm
goat
in.
gets pulled off the mountain?
You
It's
know,
a Golden
I
Eagle
just-
video where goats just get pulled off the mountain and dropped like thousands of feet in Argentina.
I have seen a video where the goat he loses it and he starts just rolling and it's just
Yeah.
like, no,
Yeah.
yikes.
You got some weird habits, buddy.
I do. I know. I mean, I got a midget on my left. I got a sex
Holy
doll.
shit.
I'm walking like the gore and like.
Dude, I think neo-Nazis are pretty stupid. So, first of
Yes.
all, I'm a quarter German. My grandfather was born in Berlin. Okay. Second, Jewish people are the most productive fucking people on the planet. Period.
That is correct. They
invent
control
all
a
the
lot
shit.
of stuff.
They fund all the shit. They write all the comedy. They do all the acting. So they're boss mode on the arts, boss mode on the business, boss mode on the finance, boss mode on the inventing, boss mode on the doctoring.
See, that feeds into their theories, because a big part of their theory is that I don't want to start using
Go
certain
ahead.
phraseology. Well, no, because I don't want you to get banned from all these things. But they have this theory that the J controls the world and that all these things are.
Well, to a
It's
degree
like
they
this
do,
kid's-
but they earned that, and it's better because of that. And they
But
don't abuse their power very much.
Their theory is that they all communicate with each other to like make bad things happen, and it's really
No.
strange. It's really.
It's just
No.
not
I
true.
mean, I know it's not true. I'm just in it.
It's this simple. Human beings can be productive or not. If you have better education and better diligence and less waste, then you're going to be more productive. When's the last time you saw a drunk Jewish person? They just don't do it as much. Now, when's the last time you saw a drunk Irishman? Probably pretty common. Now, is it genetic? Maybe. But it's surely cultural, right? So I don't give a fuck what race you are. What matters is the culture, habits that tend to propagate in that race. So if you have a race, whether they're Jewish people or South Korean people or Japanese people or Indian people or white American people, whatever the fuck they are, if you study and you save and you work and you don't waste your money, you don't waste your time, and you learn and you create and you're productive, that is the best thing you can do as a human. And the Jewish culture in the United States, that is what they do. Now look, the Jewish culture in Israel is nothing like the Jewish culture in the United States. They're totally different. Wildly, totally different. And, there's other Jewish populations in Argentina, Czech Republic. There's even Jewish
it
people
reminds me
in...
of a similar analogy could be about like Indians. Like a lot of people say like Indians are rich everywhere but India. And it's that,
right.
They take that intense appreciation for opportunity that they don't have, and then they're like, oh my God, you guys have it. And they
the ones you meet
to-
do. So that's the difference, right? Like if you meet a Jewish person in America, they got money. If you meet a Jewish person in Israel, they're broke as fuck. Totally different. In Israel, there's so little money in Israel that the ambulances there have the names of rich American Jewish families that have bought the ambulance so that it could exist. And so it's the only country in the world I've ever been to where the ambulances have family names written on them that sponsored them to exist. I ain't never seen that anywhere else in my life. So that's how poor Israel is that they need people to donate fucking ambulances, basically, right? And so So many people talk about shit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know.
Do you take
They
a lot
think,
of vitamins?
huh?
Do you take a lot of vitamins?
Because coronavirus is going on, I'm taking vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc every day.
Zinc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I ask because you say you don't go outside much, and vitamin D deficiency
Well,
probably be like.
I take vitamin D.
Is
And
it
I
true
also
that,
take fish oil that has vitamin D in it as well. So I'm probably like slightly overdosing.
so right now I'm not taking much of anything. So I should be doing the same, huh? I should do like, what do you?
Well, I mean, look,
multivitamin?
if your option was to not go outside and get corona, it's probably distance is your best defense. You don't need to have a good immune system if the bug never encounters you. But if you don't
Well,
have
I
good,
take a lot of precautions. I got a bunch of masks. I have a Bitcoin story.
yeah,
related to
but
masks.
that mask is not as much precaution as you think it is. So
Well, yeah, but I mean,
let
when I
me
go
explain
outside,
why.
okay, let's hear it.
When you breathe with a mask, if you're in an environment that had the germ, that had the bug, that had the virus, and the mask saved your ass, now the front of your mask is radioactive, basically. You should treat it as though it's radioactive. And what happens is people wear the mask, it saves their ass, and then they readjust it and touch their face, and then they're fucked because they touch their ears, their eyes, their mouth with their hands after they take their mask off. And so people think that the mask is going to save them, but then they don't wear eye protection. Bro, your eyes are right there. Mucous membranes right fucking there. You're walking through the air, breathing the air, and the air that you're breathing is going right by your eyes too. You got to wear eye protection. You got to wear the mask. You got to treat the front of it like it's radioactive. And
Coronavirus can go in your eyes too.
yes. So masks gives people a lot of extra. Like I know that you went to the store before the call. Terrible idea. No reason to go out there. That's where the germs are.
Yeah.
So you got a mask, you think you're safe. You're not safe. You readjust the mask. Oops. You have eyes.
Well,
Oops.
let me share with you my like little simple workflow. To be fair, in the Philippines, we only have like 4,000 cases. That I know that the number.
Yeah, but that's 40,000 if you had tested more people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we don't have on paper on the websites, it's listed as not a lot compared to other places. So I'll put on my mask. I wash my hands I got my stuff, I got my disinfectant soap and the 99%.
Yeah, it's
And
okay. It's better than
I don't
nothing.
touch doors. I use my back to open doors.
Yeah, it's better
And
than
then
nothing.
when I go, okay. So.
But
I'm
let's
trying to be safe.
take that idea, right? You used your back to open the door, right? So you're safer, yes. But now you've got the disease on your back, and then you take your shirt off when you get home with your hands, and you put it in the hamper, and now the disease is on your hands. It's safer to not fucking go outside, and then you don't have to worry about any of that shit, right?
Well,
So-
what would you say to someone like me who does at some point have to go outside to get like bottles of water?
You look like you're in a hotel room.
I'm in an apartment, but basically same thing.
I mean, my experience, hotel rooms have room service. But like, I mean, look.
I have a maid that I can tell her to bring me stuff.
Yeah, and there's probably some very affordable delivery systems there as well.
So you want me
And
to like
can-
not go outside at all, like 0%? That's the strategy.
if you want to
Okay,
live,
I mean,
if you
I
care
do
about your
wanna
life.
live. I
Yeah,
care
like
about
if
my
you
life.
like, I care about my life. I am going to stay inside until a fucking herd immunity exists, or until a fucking vaccine exists. And I might wait for the vaccine anyway, even if there is a fucking herd immunity. So I am not going. If this shit kills 8 out of 10 people on Earth, I'm be 2 out of 10 motherfuckers that is living because I'm taking it more serious than other people. I mean, I don't know if you can see behind me here, but I got a face mask and a mouth mask. And if I go to take the garbage out, I do it at hours when no one else is alive or around, and I wear the mask on the eyes and on the face, and then I wash the key, and I wash my hands, and I take the clothes off, and I get a shower, and I treat everything like it's radioactive. Because,
That's smart.
you know, how do you know who was in the hallway before you, breathing? How do you know who was in the fucking trash bin before you? You know? You got to open it with your hand. So, like, doctors who work very hard and train very hard to have good personal protective equipment and are trained on how to use it, and see people getting fucked up all around them, they still get coronavirus too. Because this shit is a microscopic, nanoscopic fucking particle. I'm not sure about nano, but at least microscopic. And it's very easy to just get into one of your cells and start busting out copies. So I'm not interested in that shit. I'm not interested in finding out. Boris Johnson was shaking hands, and then Boris Johnson went to the emergency room. Wow. Well, I don't want to go to the fucking emergency room. Like, people keep quoting the death rate, like only 1% of people die. Yeah, but what if 10 or 20% of people have to go to the emergency room and have a real bad time? What do you mind more, death or a real bad time? I don't mind the death that much. I mind the real bad time. So,
I agree.
The best bet is to not go outside. Don't buy the vitamins.
What do you think?
If you can get them delivered, go ahead and get them delivered, and then you can.
Roommate that doesn't do anything. He just no mask. He doesn't care. Do you think it's
He's stupid.
What I mean is, do you think I should take precautions? I agree, but do you think I should take precautions, like to be around him, or like?
I would not be around him.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that this is some shit that just happens to other people, like some other people out there have worse behaviors or something. No, everyone else that got it did the same stupid shit you're doing, and that's how they got it, and they didn't think it was a problem, because only other people would get it. But the same stupid shit you're doing with your friend, going to the store, all that stuff, that is how everyone else got it, the same exact way. So if you do the same things that got those people terrible results, you are very likely to get terrible results as well.
So I bought some gloves, right?
What do you think? Gloves are really hard to use. Okay. So you have gloves, you touch the virus, now the virus is on your gloves, now you got to get your gloves off.
Yeah,
okay.
I know. Well,
it's not easy to get your gloves off. It's actually very hard. You're going to end up touching your fucking here.
Okay, so let's say you're me, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying I got to go outside with goggles or some kind of
if you can.
eye stuff,
yes.
A mask,
yeah,
gloves, and then take the gloves off.
It helps, but you have to remember that now the tips of the gloves are hot, and your hands are hot after you've got the gloves off. And so you've got to wash up after the gloves. So the gloves doesn't stop you from having to wash the fuck out of your hands. And you got to learn how to wash your hands the right way, which most people don't know how. So
how do I
last time I did this, YouTube banned me. So I'm not going to do it again.
Oh, okay.
I showed you how to wash your hands on stream, and they banned my ass right there.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just Google how to wash your hands, and the CDC website and the WHO website will tell you how to wash your hands properly. I would love to do the demo, but it's literally when they cut my stream off last time. So.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I got a strike once for. I did a live stream where I was getting a foot massage and I was talking to the people. I flipped the camera to the foot massage, fully clothed. It was just foot massage, and then I got a strike for sexual content. I appealed it, and they accepted the appeal, but I still had to deal with having a.
How long did it take for the appeal to go through?
Like 7 days, 8 days.
I'm 45 days in on my appeal. No one gives a fuck.
Whoa. And what was the actual explicit?
Oh, they say dangerous content.
Dangerous. Yikes. So funny.
I don't see any danger.
Well, dangerous is the blanket term for everything, right? That's what they put when they don't know what to put. I've always gotten strikes for sexual stuff. Even when it's just clothed, it's just, a robot, X something. Yeah. But,
so in my opinion, you should treat this seriously, and you should stop going outside. But if you can't stop going outside, then you should stay the fuck away from people. And if you can't stay the fuck away from people or the places they have recently been, because they create fucking clouds of virus when they breathe, wear a mask, treat it like it's radioactive, don't touch the front, don't adjust it, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your mouth, don't touch your ears, use soap and water, wash your hands the right way, and hope for the fucking best. But really, distance is your best defense, and social distancing is your best defense. You don't have to wash your hands if you ain't hanging out with other people. You don't have to fucking wear a mask if you're hanging out with other people, If you're going to get shit delivered to your house and you have pliers or tongs, then you can grab the shit with tongs, or you can grab the bag from the sides where they weren't grabbing it, and then that removes the germs from the delivery person from the equation a little bit, and then you can cut the handles off the bag, or you can like open the container and pour the food out, and you could really just, it's look, if you don't want to get the fucking bug, then you got to put a little work in, man. I mean, look, you're lucky enough that someone delivered you food. You didn't have to make it on your own. You can put the effort in to try and get rid of the germs from the container that might have contained it. And in the end, that just reduces your germs from the package guy and the table that it was sitting on waiting, and you're just reduced down to the person that made its germs. And you really can't get around those. You know, so if a person puts together a burger and their hands touch the bun, well, then you just hope that that person doesn't have it, is your only hope. Because I wouldn't want to spray my burger with fucking Lysol. I can't imagine it would taste good. I mean, I guess you could cut the top. You could take the fucking bread off the burger, or like cut the top. Like you could fucking make an effort here, you know? Yeah. And here's the other thing: when you throw that stuff out that may have had the virus on it, now you got to treat your garbage can like real deal. You can't be pushing your hand in there to try and make more space, you know?
Well, you've totally convinced me to take it a little bit more seriously, because I didn't think about pushing with my back and the clothes and all.
Yep.
You know, I just figured, oh well, I'm not touching my back with my. I'm not, you know, my back and my eyes and my mouth are not touching.
Hey, look, what you're doing is better, but it ain't foolproof, you know?
Yeah. So
it's like when you imagine, go and dust your house sometime and ask yourself, where does all this fucking dust come from? And remember that the virus is basically like dust. And that shit gets around, man. You know? And I mean, so less viral load is better. You might hit the lottery that, like, yeah, you know, you were outside and you were fucking around with the virus, and then, you know, it didn't find its way into your eye before it fell apart. Because these viruses have timers on them. They just kind of fall apart on their own. Thank God. Like, can you imagine if the virus had... So there are things that are terribly deadly for people that don't fall apart on their own. They're called prions. And they have like a reverse chirality where they're like molecularly twisted a different way. And then they make all of your molecules twist a different way. And you can't kill these fucking things. They're just like immune to being killed. They don't give a fuck. You can put them to like the shit you put surgery tools through to clean them, the autoclave that takes them up to like, you know, some number of like boiling, right? They just survive all that shit. And so if you operate on someone that has this prion disease, you've got to throw the tools in the garbage when you're done, because you can't even clean them. That's how fucking crazy prions are. So I'm so glad that viruses are just like protected by lipids, and then once the lipid shield fails, they fall apart. And lipids just a fat. These fucking prions, they ruin your ass. And so like in the United States, they've got these deer, and it's called a wasting disease. And then they just like starve to death. They're like corpses walking around until they just die. And that's a problem in the States. And so that's what happens when these prions get in deer. You know, cows had prion problems. It was called mad cow. And then human beings that are cannibals have prion problems because they'll eat somebody's brain matter, and then that held the prion in it, and then it just fucking ruins these people. So, yeah, I think this is very... It's like betting, right? You play poker. You've got pot odds. And pot odds is, listen, I might not have a good hand, but there's so much money in the pot already that it's worth it to play, because the amount of money in the pot makes the bad hand worth it, right? But if you have a good hand and there's not that much money in the pot, like, so pot expected value and pot odds is how you have to look at this virus. If you get it wrong, you die. If you play it as hard as you can, you have a couple months with a little bit of hassle. Okay, well, that seems like a good trade to me. I'll take a couple months of hassle to not play Russian roulette with my life, or the chance that I live but have reduced lung capacity for the rest of my life, or that I have to spend time in the fucking hospital, right? I don't want to go to the hospital. Fuck the hospital. I don't want to, you know? So I'm playing this shit hard. Well, if I get the disease, you're all dead, because I'm trying harder. So if I get it, all you motherfuckers are done.
So what else we gonna talk about, man?
Well, I mean, I guess so. Hex is amazing.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
believe it.
Dude, if all you
I
care about is
just,
the price and the price goes up 11x in 90 days, yo,
that's good.
it is good.
I'm
And
not
it
laughing.
went
I'm
up
just
during the
laughing that.
pandemic, bro. It went up during the pandemic when everything else went down. Do you know how good that is?
Interesting.
That's so
That's
good.
great.
Yeah, I mean, girls, money, fitness. What else matters? Laid, paid,
Well,
and laughs. Like, what else matters?
the reason I asked is because I'm getting pretty sleepy.
Yeah.
So,
You get some rest, man.
if you,
I'll take a couple questions from chat, and you can get some rest, bro.
yeah. What chat are you looking at? Because I was looking.
So
at
I've
the
got this
chat.
combined chat. So everybody, we usually are in Telegram, which is t.me/hexcrypto. That's the 20,500 member Telegram chat. I've got a combined chat through this Restream, which does like multiple broadcasts, and it's combining Twitch, Facebook, Periscope, DLive, and YouTube's chats.
Oh, cool.
And my audience right now is split across Twitch and YouTube. And I should have mentioned I was doing this on my real YouTube and take the risk of just being like, hey, we're on another channel, come see it. Because I've done that and I haven't gotten a strike from that yet, thank God.
I would be careful with that.
Really?
There was a big YouTuber called Louis Tech Tips.
Yeah.
Louis Tech Tips.
Yeah.
Who he made a simple video. Hey guys, we're streaming on Twitch, and he got a strike for that because YouTube, it's considered spam, spam, and promotion. And it says if the sole purpose of a video is to tell people to leave YouTube, that's considered spam. The way that you can get around that is you tell them to go to Twitch, but you don't put the link in the description. So what you can do is listen. You can go on an alt account, put the link in the comments, and then pin the comment.
Yeah.
That way it doesn't connect to you.
I hate having to supplicate to these fucking terrorists, dude.
Well, I know.
Hate it.
But
I appreciate the tips.
Just if you already got 2 strikes.
Well, I have 1 strike.
Okay, well.
But it's like,
be careful with the whole. Hey guys.
Yeah.
Because it was like a famous case where like he got a strike and it was like this big debate. This is like a couple of years ago. But it's Louis Texas.
I hate YouTube. I hate Facebook. But I'm forced to play the game. So I don't particularly like taking the crap either, but I have to do it. So all right, man. I'll call it. I'll call it quits, bro. It was good having you on.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
I'm glad that crypto solved some problems for you, and I hope it solves a lot more. And I hope everyone in the world does get a wallet. And that is the goal. That is the vision. That is the end game. It's just we have to get mad gains to make that happen. I think, because otherwise people won't buy. They just won't have a wallet. We need to onboard them, and mad gains is how we're onboarding.
Yeah, I agree. Mad gains number go up is very cool. I agree with that, but I still think that there's a lot of other stuff that's cool that
I agree.
that should talk about and like.
I don't think people understand how important decentralized on-chain exchange is. Most of the people that lost money in crypto that didn't sell, right? So if you bought high and sold low, okay, you lost money. You speculated improperly. If you lost money in crypto, but it wasn't because you sold the bottom or some shit, it's because the exchange robbed your ass. Yeah. Getting rid of middlemen is why crypto exists, and getting rid of those exchanges is awesome. It's so good. I don't think people understand how important and how good that is.
Exchange is that atomic swapping, or is that?
We have atomic swaps as well, but they're just so clunky that people don't use them. So Hex is on atomicswapwallet.io, and you can atomic swap between Bitcoin and Ethereum, but there's no order book. It's just thin as fuck because both people have to be online to do an order. Atomic cross. Oh no, it's IO. atomicswapwallet.io. If you go on Hex Crypto and type !exchange, it'll paste you the list of exchanges.
Oh, yeah, Atomic. Yeah, they have a wallet called Atomic.
But it's different. Atomic Wallet which we're also on, is different from atomicswapwallet.io.
That's great.
So one does real atomic swaps, the other does not. So all the stable, if you have crypto and you want to get out of it, what do you want to get into? You want to get into fiat so you can spend it, or you want to get into another crypto, and that's it. And if you want to get into fiat just to defend your value and you're not really going to spend it, you don't need to go to a real bank, stablecoin is a great way to do that. All the stablecoins are on Ethereum. So hexdex.win, if you want to get out of any ERC20 or Ethereum into a stablecoin, and there's like, nobody gets rich on that. So like that 0.3%, it goes to the people that are on the other side of the trade providing liquidity for you. The people that invented that system, they don't make any money. They didn't have a token. They got a $100,000 grant for the Ethereum Foundation, and that's it. And it's a public good. So it's a public good that's free and open source. And version 2 just came out, and it doesn't have a front end yet, and it doesn't have audits yet, but it does some things that are amazing. So version 2 will allow you to pull a time-weighted average price of where the price is on a pair, like the Hex Ethereum pair, for instance. And it also lets you set up arbitrary. Remember I told you had to get like you have a larger spread, a 0.6% fee or spread, or whatever you want to call it, if you want to go through two pairs, right? Like ERC20 to ERC20. Well, in the new system, you won't have to. You'll only pay 0.3 because you can have a liquidity pool that has both ERC20s as the pairs, instead of having ERC20 to ETH and then ERC20 to ETH and having to go through both books. Now you can just do it through one book. You've also got flash swaps, or rather flash. Do you know what flash loans are?
I don't.
Okay, this is going to be really interesting for you. You can borrow as much money as you want, as long as you pay it back at the end of the transaction. And so you can, if you see an arbitrage opportunity where I could buy this cheaper here and sell it more expensive there, you can get a loan for as much as they have, and then and you can do this all in one transaction in Ethereum. Get the loan, buy this thing, sell it over there, pay back the loan, transaction closes, you get your profit, lender gets his fee, done. And you don't have to have any collateral. You don't have to have any collateral. You just pay pennies for the transactions. Crazy. Fucking crazy cool. People were using this to shove the price on order books around to force trades and profitability. Because people were designing margin products that didn't use time-weighted average price, so you could just push the price real hard for a short period before anyone else could fight you back, and then win a trade. And they won like maybe like $1 million total, like 300 to 800,000, something like that, because they're exploiting an exchange that was poorly coded by dumb asshole idiots that didn't use a time-weighted average price, which is totally unsafe. And we've known this in margin trading forever, which is why any other place like Shipmex or anywhere else you would trade with margin uses a time-weighted average price, so that traders can't just force a win by borrowing money to shove the price in one direction for a moment to close their trade. You know what I mean? So the new Uniswap v2 has Uniswap is the name of the code that hexdex.win hosts or points to, because it's on chain.
Well, the atomic swap thing that I've always used is sideshift.ai, and it's a browser. You just go to it. And
yeah, that probably just advertises itself as an atomic swap, but it's really not, is my guess.
Really?
Yeah. Because if you look at it from a user's perspective, what does he want? He wants to put one thing in and get another thing out. Does he give a fuck at all what's under the scenes? He doesn't.
Yeah, that's correct.
So with atomic swapping, you are signing a transaction, and then in order for a real atomic cross swap to occur, two transactions have to happen, one on one chain and one on the other chain.
Yeah. And
then you have to, without a chain in between you, somehow side channel communicate that if you use this, then you can get your money, kind of thing. So like it's a lot harder. So with the atomic cross swap of the Atomic Swap wallet that Hex is on, both people have to be online at the same time. And to have orders in the order book, you have to be online. And if you have a connection problem, your orders disappear, and it's slow as fuck. And you have to wait for 2 transactions to happen. So what most things on the internet, like hexdex.win, the front end, they just show you, here, put this in and you get that. And really, there's a counterparty in the middle usually. With Hexdex, there's no counterparty. It's just on-chain. But with everything else, like, Changelly or whatever, it's you talking to them and their wallet, and then they just have 2 wallets. So there's no atomic cross swap. They're not talking from chain to chain. They just have their own wallet. And that's why they can steal all your money, because they're taking custody of the money. With hexdex.win, there's no custodian. The money's always yours. It's you and the contract talking to each other. But with like Changelly, they can just not pay you, and you can fuck yourself.
Open right now.
Yeah. Which one? Which one are you talking about?
Version 2.14.0.
No, but what's the name of the wallet?
Called Atomic Wallet.
Yeah, we're on Atomic Wallet. It's not. It doesn't do cross swaps. But I can go there now.
I can click exchange, and it says I can change stuff.
Yeah, you can change things. So, an exchange.
I thought that's what atomic swapping was.
No.
Oh.
No.
I thought atomic swapping was you say, I want to take Bitcoin Cash and turn it into Ethereum.
Oh, no.
And then
totally
you
not.
just wait, and it just does it.
No, totally not. So, an exchange is where you can put a limit order and say, I'll sell it. I'll sell it this price, and I'll buy it this price. That's an exchange, right? And then they came out with ones that didn't have limit order functionality. They just had market order functionality, like hexdex.win, where you can just market buy or market sell. There's no sitting in the order book. I mean, you can sit in the order book if you're a liquidity provider in Hexdex. So that's normal exchange, and that's normal swapping. So normal swapping means you're just doing market buys, right? If I want to buy, I get this many. If I want to sell, I get this many. There's no limit orders, right? So you've got swapping, and then you've got limit orders, which is like exchange, and then you've got atomic cross swapping, which means you're doing a transaction on chain with some data, and another person is doing some transaction on a different chain with some data. And then if that guy does his thing, then he gets a code that allows him to unwrap his money, basically. So there's no counterparty risk. So atomic cross swapping doesn't have counterparty risk. It's all on chain, and it's across 2 different chains. That's what atomic cross swapping is. It's harder.
Do you think that what do you think of it? Let's say that someone is sold Bitcoin that's like dirty Bitcoin by some bad man, and they wanted to like. Do you think swapping it is a good way to like hide your trail?
No. The people that do those things, like the people that made that 14K top that you bought when you got in or didn't buy but got to see, the plus token people, they use what's called mixing in order to try and obfuscate their source of funds. So mixing is a thing, right? So there's Samurai Wallet and Wasabi Wallet that will do mixing for Bitcoin stuff.
Yes.
And then they're trying to fork in something that will help those activities with what's called Taproot. And
what I'm talking about, like let's say someone sells me $500 in BTC, and I think that guy is a bad guy, and I don't want to deal with it, potentially.
Well, then you could use. I mean, I can't say what you should or could do, but I can tell you that people do mix their coins.
Well,
I
use Cash Shuffle. So what what I do is Electrum Cash. It's BCH version of Electrum, and they have built-in Cash Shuffle. It's freaking awesome. You just deposit it automatically. It goes da, 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 and it like sends it. It does all this cool stuff.
Yeah, it does.
But
so from what I've heard, well, actually, I haven't heard it. All you guys are doing is mixing. So what you have is an anonymity set, which is all the other people that want to mix, and then there's you.
That's right.
And you're joining the anonymity set because you want to mix, and then you're hoping that your money that you get out wasn't dirtier than the money that you put in. Because if you get dirtier coins out, what did you achieve?
What I'm saying
now they think you're the super criminal.
Way of hiding the trail to just use an atomic swap service and say.
Well, no, because that's totally trailed. Like Atomic Swap
Really?
is totally tracked. Yeah.
So if someone sold me $500 and then I used one of these sites to change it to Monero, and then
Oh
I
no, then you're
spent
fine.
okay.
Well, you're kind of fine. You can still have timing attacks.
Let's say I shift it into BCH and then I cash shuffle the BCH and then I spend the shuffled coins.
It's a function of the anonymity set and the side channel attacks. So if the anonymity set's large, that's good, right? Maybe get lost in the shuffle. And if the so let's say, here's how a timing attack works. You take $369 and you turn it into Monero, and then you spend $369 of Monero on a website, and you're the only person to buy on that site. Well, it's very reasonable to think that economic, you know what I mean? So it's not proof, but it gives them a trail to find proof, right?
Okay, cool.
So listen, no one has these problems, man. No one gets fucked up for that. All right, good night.
As much as I want to keep, I'm told that like this conversation is to deteriorate into me yawning and being like, right. What?
Good night, man. It's been fun.
Hey, man, appreciate your time. Thanks for having me on. Maybe we'll do it again someday.
All right.
And for all you
David
viewers,
Bond, he has a YouTube channel.
Check me out. Watch me.
Girls with bikinis.
All right. All right, man. Thanks again.
Ciao. All right, chat. I'll just check, see if you got anything smart to say over here. Scrolling up. So much chat. Got an hour of chat here. Whitening your teeth weakens the amalgamation. That shit doesn't make... I mean, first of all, an amalgamation is a filling. And it's a filling that contains silver. So, I don't think that's true. I don't think whitening your teeth does make your fillings weaker. Could weaken your enamel. Maybe that's what you meant instead of amalgamation. Crypto Tonight Darko says, Richard, I'm sure if you party with me, it would be a party you never forget. Yeah, probably. You seem like a party animal. I think we'd have fun. Somebody says money isn't a sign of doing anything useful. Yes, indeed, actually it is, unless you're stealing it. Unless you're stealing it, you got money, you probably got that money by giving people something they wanted. People say money doesn't matter. You're like, yeah, but when I search my name, like one of the most common things people type after it is net worth. So I think people do actually care. I'm reading chat, by the way. What if Richard created Bitcoin? Lol. I'd probably actually sell some. Somebody laughed. There's more wrapped Bitcoin in Ethereum than the Lightning Network. It is pretty funny. But one works. Yeah, the burgundy candles were prettier. I'd like to switch back to them at some point. I've gone through 20 minutes of chat here. Somebody says I advocate ETH versus BTC. Yeah. At what point ETH price will interfere with world computer narrative? Well, with ZK rollups, probably never. And there's ETH too. It's like, I mean, look, World Computer is already dead if you want to do any type of really hard stuff, right? If you want to do something harder than hex, you can't do it. Maybe with ZK rollup stuff you could. I wonder. I never thought about that. So ZK rollups gives you increased throughput, but I think it also gives you increased computational power too. So, yeah, actually, I think ZK rollup solves more than just throughput. I think you can get more computational intensity as well, because that's just throughput, right? Like, doing those operations is also throughput, basically. You're just verifying that the operations are done properly. Somebody says New York has ambulances sponsored by Jewish families and business groups. I didn't know that. Interesting. America has poverty. Yes, they do. Zinc is good to protect your mucous membrane. Hope so. Somebody says masks are made to protect the sick person from the healthy person. Oh, yeah? Well, then why do the doctors wear them, bitch? Huh? Like, they're both ways, dude. The fucking bad stuff travels in particles, and particles have mass, and they get stuck on stuff like cloth. And if the cloth has denser, it has like holes that are smaller, then it catches more of the crap. It's really simple, dude. It's really simple. Filters work. Filters work in your air conditioning system. Filters work in your air purifier. Filters work when you're making tea, right? Your tea bag's a filter, and filter fucking works when you wear it over your mouth. So if you wear a t-shirt, it's like 40% effective. If you wear something like a vacuum bag, it's like 60% effective or 55. If you wear a fucking N95 mask, it's 95. Okay, cool. Great. Like, they all work. Your viral load matters. Less of the virus is better than more. So like wearing something over your face, it stops more from getting out than it does from getting in, and that's enough. Like it works both directions. Otherwise, doctors wouldn't want the equipment so much. Somebody says sterilize hands between mask adjustments. Smart. Somebody says you need to spend 30 minutes with someone with corona who is actively sick to catch it. You're a dumb fuck. Okay. There's a guy that got on a bus in Germany that had it, and then some other guy got on the bus and he got it. And there was time in between. So you're full of shit, you're wrong, you're stupid, you spread false information. The virus doesn't give a fuck how many minutes you've been there. It doesn't have a timer. It's not waiting. You're stupid. Hey, somebody's commenting from DLive. One viewer. one DLive viewer is fucking representing. Hey, buddy. Richard, have I stockpiled food? Do I look like I stockpiled food, bro? Of course. I told you guys on like February 24th to stockpile, or March. Well, it's March now, isn't it? No, it's April. Yes, I bragged about how early I told you to stockpile food and how to go out at midnight to get it to reduce your viral load and shit. And it's when they're restocking. Darker says nanoparticle. Thank you. How do I get food? I got a lot of food here. Somebody says my dad had to go to the ER the other day for chest pains. I'm worried he picked it up while there. You should be worried, and that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Why would they ban me for that, Richard? I don't know. They don't know. An AI does it. I hate them. It sucks. What am I going to do? Somebody says Hex is rank number 66 on Coin Paprika. And it is. 75.5 million market cap. Not bad for 90 days. Somebody says this would be a great time to cut out some of the crap you're eating. I agree with you. So when I woke up, chin-ups, bench, deadlift, protein shake, vitamins. That's how I start my day. That's how I hope to be starting all of my days. So I'm keeping my no zero days again, getting my swole on. I think I'm like 6 or 7 days in, but I think I had 1 0 day in there just because I was getting back into it. So it's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But doing the protein shakes instead of, food that's crappier for you is something that I'm just got back into because I actually want to drop weight now. It's tired of fucking around because it helps your immune system as well. Having lower caloric intake is good for your immune system. What will happen bad if Ethereum doesn't function anymore? Can Hex switch to another platform? Yes. It's written in Solidity. Lots of other platforms support Solidity. And you could also fork the system state of the ETH platform to the one that worked when you liked it, like now. So you just make a fork and use this version that's now. Just stick on that. Should never be a problem. Yeah, I'm almost caught up. 10 minutes left. Have I stockpiled food? Yes. Glad to see you back. Thank you. Played much LOL lately? No. I'll watch Tyler one stream because he's hilarious, but I don't play. I can't take that risk. If I enjoyed it, I mean, look, League is cancer. League is amazingly horrible, terrible cancer. So do not ever play it. So it says, man, Ethereum is so much more exciting than Bitcoin. It's crazy. Wish I wasn't a maximalist for so long. Missed out on all the fun. I mean, this stuff's new, right? Like, Ethereum didn't have any of this cool shit not that long ago. So you didn't actually miss out. Like, the shit is just getting good now. Like, on-chain exchange just got good now. It was all empty with no volume and no liquidity and slow as fuck. Now it's just getting good. Like ZK rollups just came out. Hexdex.win just came out. The shit just got good. So you're on time, man. If someone handed me $1 million USD, how would I recommend allocating funds? $1 million USD, go to Coinbase, turn it into USDC. Go to hexdex.win. Top there says ETH. Drop it down to USDC. Turn that shit into Hex. Now, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You got to make your own decisions, do your own research. You're fully responsible. But your question was, if someone handed me $1 million, I think I'd buy Hex. I like Hex a lot. It's up 11x in 90 days. Versus Bitcoin, by the way. Do I think it's funny that the Surgeon General of the USA had to make a video of how to make a mask while wearing a $1,000 watch? I didn't think about that, but I guess, yeah, that is funny. Yes, it is funny that we have to make homemade masks because we don't have enough masks. But we sure have enough $1,000 watches. That's some bad preparation is what that is. Somebody asked what my preferred stablecoin is. I think USDC has the most volume that's not DAI, and I don't think DAI is a good stablecoin because it's not $1 and it hasn't been $1 for a long time, and it's kind of what its fucking job is. So I'm not into that. Do you really want to buy a coin that's supposed to be worth $1, but you pay more for it? And then what if that margin disappears? You just lost money buying a stable coin? Well, that's not stable. That sucks. So since DAI is not stable, I don't feel comfortable calling it a stable coin. I'm not really a fan. So I think USDC is better than DAI. And the price chart would indicate that that is the case. And I don't like fake crypto that has a company as a counterparty, but what are you going to do? It's like DAI or USDC are your options pretty much if you want liquidity. You might not need liquidity. Maybe one of these other weird stable coins might work for you. Richard, would you take a COVID vaccine? Yes, I would. As a matter of fact, I plan to when there's one available. I would much rather take a weakened form of the COVID than the non-weakened form of the COVID. That's what a virus vaccine is. What is ZK rollups? It's basically just you take something on chain, off chain. You do a bunch of math on it, and then you submit a proof that says you did that math right, and then you put it back on chain. And it allows you to do tons of throughput off chain and math off chain, and then prove that it was done properly on chain. And so it's layer 2 scaling with on chain security guarantees. It's awesome. Like, it's amazing. So you get throughput with the same level of security. Any update on my thoughts about COVID? You think we'll be staying home till November? I'm not sure. I mean, I think this is going to be a while. I think people will go back out, and there'll be a flare up, and then they'll be locked down again. You keep power cycling the economy. It's going to suck. And then you've got all the bubbles collapsing at the same time. The everything bubble popped. Plus GDP's wrecked from people not being able to work. So, like, how do you buy food and water without going to the store? Yes, you know. Someone asks, how do you buy food and water without going to the store, and delivery services seem to carry a big risk? So what other options are there? There aren't any other options. You either need to have the store bring it to you, or you need to go to the store, or you live on a fucking farm. Those are your options. So if you don't live in a farm and you're not a cannibal, you need to go to the store or have the fucking store bring the shit to you. And of those two, you're going to get less viral load from the delivery guy. How are you getting your haircuts during this pandemic? I'm just lucky. I got one before the pandemic. Still stand by my ETH call? What was my ETH call? The breakout? I think my ETH call was that we break out of like 120 and it'll go up to 175 to 185. Okay, well that call already was successful. We already did that. So do I have to stand by it? It was already fulfilled. It already happened. It's already successful. So I won. I got my 20% move. You're welcome. People should thank me more. Sick as fuck 20% move call comes true. People are like, still stand by this shit. Am I a vegetarian? Nope. Is there anything you'd want to put into Sci-Vive if you had the time? In terms of content, not form. Sci-Vive's got every good idea I've ever had in it, man. So there's really not much missing there. That's why it's hundreds of thousands of words. T1, yeah. What do I think about the average Joe messing with the stock market? Well, as long as they're biased long and they're in an index, that's not that bad. But if they're trying to pick individual stocks, they're probably just going to get wrecked. Crypto Tonight, Darko says, long overdue for the second version of our interview. Or somebody, he says, our long overdue second version of our interview should be up next week. That is long overdue, bro. True. He's Crypto Tonight on YouTube. Cool dude. Rock and roll style. Okay, give me your best shill and hacks. I'm getting my daily amount here soon. I've been play ETH games and I can sell NFTs on Uniswap to get hacks. Okay. I don't know what give you my best shill means. Faster, cheaper, only 90 days old, top 65 liquidity, top 65 market cap. Let me look. 66? 66. 65 yesterday, I think. World's first blockchain CD. No paying miners block rewards with them dumping the price. 3 audits, 2 security audits, 1 economics audit. Referral program. On-chain exchange. Up 11x in 90 days. What do you want? like it's great. It's fucking great. Pumpamentals.com, 10% bonus if you want to transform Ethereum into Hex. Am I concerned with the erosion of privacy? Yeah, but I mean, look, I'm willing to eat the cost to have more power in the world. Give up some anonymity for some strength. Somebody asks about the payout on interest that they got. If you have questions about that people have to actually look at your transaction and stuff, go to t.me/hexcrypto. And there are people that will look at what's going on. That's the community. Just over 20,000 people there. Ask them what's up. They will help you. I am new to the crypto world. Can you give your general info on it and where you think it's heading? Well, I think as soon as the corona's done sucking, I think we can go up a lot. I mean, Hex is going up now, so. But the other cryptos, I think, they're kind of tied to the stock market. What's the point of the Sci-Vive channel on YouTube? Well, man, I don't want to lose my main channel that has, 50K subs or whatever. And since they're handing out strikes unfairly, I'm going to chill and not broadcast on there until they get their shit together and stop handing out strikes randomly. Or the account gets risked getting deleted. Somebody says, you're expecting a price dump on day 350 when the stakes end. Depends on how many people are staked and how long they're staked for. Nobody knows what the state of the system will be then. people also have this misconception that everyone's stakes are ending on day 350. The people that free claimed, their stakes are staggered out all the days after day 350 if they chose the minimum stake length. The only people whose stakes are ending on day 350 that free claimed are the people they free claimed the first day. And all these other people that have claimed all these other days, their minimum stake length ends further out, right? So like the guy that free claimed last, his end stake is like day 700 something. So I wouldn't be surprised to see volatility, but I don't know whether the price is going to go up or down. And I don't think anyone knows, because nobody knows what percentage of the coins will be staked. You know, there's just too many variables. So we really got to wait to see. If everybody's locked, who's going to sell? It's like, you got to see how many people are locked then. Price could go up, price could go down. I don't know. I don't think anyone does. Why does the color saturation on your stream look better for the guest video? What? I don't know. I thought my stream looks good. You gotta ask that question better. Are you saying my color saturation ain't right? If so, you gotta use that language. Somebody says it was a good call, but didn't know it went to 180. I think it went to 175. Here's the thing, right? When I make calls, you fuckers front run them. Just saying, right? So put yourself in my situation. If I make a call, if the call was 180, let's go look up the price. I'm going to tell you what the price did. High on stamp of 176.74. Okay. That's $3.26 shy of 180. 326 over 180. That's 1.8%. If someone gives you a call and it's within 1.8%, be real happy. Do I celebrate Passover? No. Thoughts on marriage? Don't do it. You ever been married? No, but I had 2 8-year relationships. Keep your zinc up by whacking off less? I don't think so, buddy. When do you start writing Sci-Vibe and how long did it take? Years and years. Too many years. Unfortunately. Somebody's asking me about stock market prices. Look, I think that the prices of stocks should go down when their revenues go down. And I think their revenues will go down because everyone lost their jobs. So this short-term stock price going up shit, it seems like a wonderful opportunity to sell to me. You know, assuming my thesis about people not spending money and therefore companies having less revenue and therefore having lower stock prices. If we live in a magical world where the price of stocks is not related to earnings anymore, well then I guess any price can do whatever the fuck it wants forever, right? So I just don't, I mean, the other option is that people haven't lost their income and they haven't lost their jobs and they are able to pay their rent and businesses aren't being closed. And I don't think that's true. I don't think that's the case. I think that there's 3 to 6 million unemployed people, and that number is not looking to be going down anytime soon. And so I be happy that you got 100% bounce in crypto, and you know, this big bounce in the stock market seems like a great opportunity to sell the dead cat. Not a financial advisor, not even an expert on stocks in general. Just done some light technical analysis on the S&P 500 chart. Like, I am not bullish until everyone can get back to work. So, and that doesn't seem like that's happening anytime soon. I don't know who the fuck is buying here, but apparently it's a lot of people. Wish you guys the best, but I think things can get a lot cheaper. I think the everything bubble popped. I think house prices can get cheaper. I think stock prices can get cheaper. I even think Bitcoin and Ethereum prices can get cheaper, which is why it's great that Hex is going up when everything else is going down. Yeah, like, why the fuck would prices go up when people don't have jobs? Doesn't make sense. Other than you're just making up for the over volatility, like it dipped so harshly that you can have a big bounce. But I think it'll dead cat is my gut feeling, and just do. I think we'll do that until the world gets fixed. But we'll see. I mean, usually it should pick up before the world gets fixed, right? Like maybe a month or two before. Didn't you say that ETH would go back down? Yeah, I told you my prediction. Is the Sci-Vive channel new? Not really. This channel's older than my real channel. It just has never had any content on it. Do you experiment on placebo effect on yourself without help? Can you get sick? What? Yeah, placebo is nice, but it's not a cure for sickness, man. Hexologist, whose stream you should subscribe to on YouTube, Hexologist. He does a stream every single day about Hex. He's great. You should watch him. He says, what questions should he ask John McAfee when he's on a stream this week? I don't know. You guys should message Hexologist in Telegram chat and tell him your questions. t.me/Hex Crypto is where he's hanging out. If you want to know how Uniswap works and the automated market maker and all that stuff, go to t.me/Hex Crypto and type !Uni, and you'll get all the links and information you want. Somebody says I need to do white balancing. Look, I kicked it to a little bit more magenta and a little bit overexposed white to punch harder. That's about it. I mean, I'll bring some color cards here and hold them up next to me so that you guys can go send me JPEGs of what you think looks better for color correction, and then I'll analyze them. I don't have the color squares next to me right now. Any streams planned where you debate? Love to see plebs get crushed. I don't have any right now, but set them up. Sitting here, can do videos. Just put me with the right people, and we'll make good content for you. You put me with smarter people, you're gonna have a better time. Do you think it's better to buy 4K to 5K Hex a day and stake for 2 years, or do a weekly? I don't know that there's a difference between daily and weekly, man. I mean, if something's usually going up, then usually early is better. You should talk to chat. I mean, go to t.me/Hex Crypto and ask them. They're going to have good input for you, I think. Because I don't understand your question. Is it better to buy 4 or 5K Hex a day and then stake for 2 years, or do a weekly? I mean, daily would be earlier, wouldn't it? Like, I think you could ask that question in a better format and get a better answer. Any advice for a person psychologically addicted to weed? I did a video on gaming addiction that should help with your weed addiction too. It's on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Richard Hart. And just sort by date and go back to my earliest videos. They're all self-help videos. I'd find the one with video games in it. I don't feel like recreating the video now to tell you about it. Do we think we need to shut down the borders between states to contain the virus? I mean, look, if you want to do a good job like they did in Asia, where a lot of places have beat it, you need thermometers everywhere to catch people with viruses everywhere. And, checkpoints do that. So I don't think people are taking this virus seriously in the States. They're not doing barely any of the stuff that they do in Asia. The Asians take this very seriously. Can I do an audiobook for Survive? One day, man. Like, the book needs to be edited more. Then it can be made an audiobook. Well, thanks, Mr. Real04. He says, thanks for hanging out and answering questions. Wish you streamed more. Yeah, I mean, I got so much stuff to do, man. And this is very time consuming. There's setup, there's teardown. It's not just the time that you see me streaming. It takes longer than that. Thank you for your compliment, by the way. I don't have any more interviews planned. Just he asked randomly and I said yes. Somebody asked if there's anything wrong with buying a Bitcoin.com. Not really. Just stay under 5 BTC a month, or I think it's like 1 BTC I don't know. I can't remember their limits, but just stay under the limits, because if you want to raise your limit, you can't be an American, because you need to be American to verify. And they've got the Hex BCH pair, which I think has a $300,000 bid on it, last I looked. And they have the Hex ETH pair there. Hextex.win's still the best, I think. Audiobook in my voice, I would read it myself, I'm pretty sure. Thank you for the useful price calls. You're welcome, man. Do I miss South Florida? Fuck no. Not even a little bit. When do you think other crypto dudes will start attacking your project again after reaching top 30 or top 10? I don't know. We're number 66 now. I think they're tired of tagging it because it's just so wrong. Like, they know they got fucking beat. So they're just tired of getting beat more. That's how I think it's going. Would I do an interview with John McAfee? I already did one. It's on my channel. youtube.com/Richard Hart. It's a good interview. Watch it. What new industry do I think will emerge from the crisis? I don't think we're going to get any new industries. I don't think we'll get any new industry. I mean, remote will be more important, but it's not a new industry. Somebody says apparently 2.6 million have been tested in the States and 530,000 have the COVID. Okay. I mean, I'll go check a site to see if that site agrees with you. This site says that in the United States there's been 529,000 confirmed to have it. I don't have a number on total tests. And 3.9% of them are dead. That's a lot of fucking people. And 1,830 people died today. That sucks. That is a lot of dead people. If I had to live in the States, which state would it be? San Francisco, because that's where they're building the future. That's where the money's at, and that's where the future's at. God, it would suck, I bet. But if you're there for a mission, endure the suck. TradingView has a COVID chart. Interesting, dude. I'll check that out. Well, Blaster Master, who's in we have a COVID chat room called COVID Lies. So I have I have a Deny COVID channel and then the SciVive channel, which is the smart people. So in SciVive, you see scientists talking science. And in the COVID channel, you see conspiracy theorists talking about tinfoil hat shit. It's fucking pitiful, really, but it's an experiment. I want to see, what it's like, what these people are talking about. So, like, Blaster Master says it's not 1%. No, the case fatality rate right now in the United States is 3.9%. But here's the problem with that, right? If you do more testing and you find out a lot more people had it and they're not dead, then it just moves that number down, right? So Bill Gates thinks it's like 1%, which is 10 times worse than flu. Maybe it is 1%. Who cares? There's dead bodies all over the place. There's 20,000 fucking dead people that didn't need to be dead if China had admitted this shit was real and locked it down earlier. But they try to pretend it wasn't real. And that seems to be the strategy for the conspiracy theorists, which is just hilarious to me. Like, wow, you guys came up with a really cool, really hard to understand idea called do nothing and pretend it's not happening. What a fucking great plan. China already tried that plan. They tried that. That was their go-to. That was the first thing they did. And it failed as hard as it could possibly fucking fail. And then they did the opposite of that stupid shit. And they locked everything the fuck down. And then they beat it. So China tried your dumbass idea. It fucking failed. It cost the world dearly. Stop advertising that stupid shit and do what they did, which fucking worked. It's already been tested. One thing failed, one thing worked. You conspiracy theorists are for the shit that didn't work. You conspiracy theorists are for the shit that failed, the do nothing shit. Like China didn't try that already. Apparently in San Francisco, there's poop in the streets and needles in the streets, and they're breaking into every damn car you could think of. And so the civil situation there is fucked, and the housing prices are fucked. So, from those perspectives, I'm not interested in that shit. But from that's where all the money is, and that's where all the building new stuff is. It's important. Sens Foundation's there, Google's there, everybody's there, man. Somebody says Richard hasn't turned off the news in weeks. Bitch, I do not even watch the news. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I just follow smart people on Twitter, bro. I think people are so goddamn stupid. All right, you stupid motherfuckers. Let's do some math real quick. Let's get out the old calculator. And let's pull up fucking the U.S. population. I think it's 380 million. But it's 328. That's why we Google shit. 328.2. 328.2 times 0.01. That's 3.28 million dead people. You stupid motherfucking assholes. 3 million dead people. You guys keep talking about 1% like it ain't shit, like it's a bitch number. 1% of 330 million people is 3.3 million goddamn people. You don't want 3.3 million dead people in your fucking country. You don't want that. I wish you motherfuckers would understand what 1% means. It's bad. It's real bad. It's really, really bad. Bad. 1%'s bad. 3 million dead people's bad. I don't know why the fuck you just gotta, like, the morgues are full. They're pulling out dead bodies out of houses with fucking National Guard and rental trucks. It's bad. All right. Well, everybody, it's been fun. Stay home. Stay safe. Wash your hands a lot. Wash them properly. Google it. You probably never washed them properly before. Hex, up 11x in 90 days. Fucking amazing. Went up when everything else went down. It's pumpamentals.com, hexdex.win. Come hang out in the 20,000 member chat room. t.me/hexcrypto. Twitter.com/hexcrypto. And now we're on youtube.com/scivive, SCIVIVE. YouTube.com/Richard Hart. I don't know when that channel will be unfucked. Afraid to post on it because of the strikes. We've also got twitter.com/Richard Hart Win, t.me/Scivive. So we got free books, free chat, free coins, free claim for Bitcoin holders. I appreciate talking to you guys. Yeah. All right, everybody. Stay safe, man. It's good talking to y'all. Bye.